Gimme.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Encounter Roleplay. My name is Will. I'm a D&D sex icon, and I'm back today with yet another episode of Monthly Modules. We have almost all of us here today, except from Toto D, who's, I think, moving house at the moment, actually. But she'll be back with us next week. But we have the rest of us here to get up to no good and have some more shenanigans today. So let's go around. Let's figure out who we are and who we're playing. Let's start with our Dungeon Master, Obo Crazy. Obo, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I came very close to having some banana bread. It's Monday morning. Wow. We're about to play some D&D. I'm excited.
Incredible.
That's it.
Incredible.
Nice and simple.
Excellent. Well, Lauren, how are you doing? And tell us more about banana bread.
Yes, I'm a banana bread expert over here, Will. Wow. Hi. Lauren, that's Salty Ginger over on the Twitters. I'm doing great. I'm super excited to be back and starting a new adventure today. Banana bread icon. That's good, Will.
Every time. Brand.
And today I am playing Sugar Adelard. She is the baby Adelard sibling. She is a paladin. Definitely nothing else. Don't even listen to what it says on the screen there. That's not even true. And I'm super excited to get back to it today.
Great stuff. Well, we have Mr. Banana Bread himself, Chris, back with us today. Chris, how you doing, buddy?
Hate bananas. So I'm good.
Man, fuck bananas.
Fuck bananas, I know. I'm alright. Still battling the battle against the war, against plants. It's doing things to my brain. Also making me quite drowsy, these medications. But other than that, I'm good. I'll be playing Xiomedes, the aspiring champion Baphomet. He's a barbarian, and well, he wants to be tested. He wants to be tested by his deity. He also wants his friends and siblings to reach their full potential. But in a world full of temptation, some may fall to darker paths. There you go, dramatic.
And I wish you were next, but because my next segue would have been, speaking of getting tested, but it won't be. We have Sam back with us today. Sam, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm happy to be back from New York. I'm really excited to play today. I'll be playing Nyla. She's an elf ranger, and I've heard she's only been sleeping and everything is fine with her and nothing is wrong. So I totally don't believe that.
Absolutely. Well, it's good to have you back with us, Sam. As for myself, I'll be playing Ryland Adelard, the middle sibling of the Adelard family. He's totally got like middle sibling complex going on. It's totally a thing. He is an Asimar sorcerer, of course, and he likes to blow things up whenever he can, study arcane books, especially when I can get my hands in them and not other members of the party who go stealing my books, as happened last week. But before we dive into the game, I'll of course remind you guys that we are sponsored here by FancyGrounds.com. Go over to the website, Fancy Grounds. They just finished up their Steam Summer Sale, but now is still a great chance and time to get involved in Fancy Grounds. You can play hundreds, nay, thousands, maybe, probably, of different tabletop role-playing games, including their free packs that they've got over there. You don't have to just buy them. They have a bunch of community packs that are great. We use them on the Warhammer show. It's awesome. Definitely also check out whalinggames.co.uk. They sell miniature lines, board games, D&D minis, D&D books at up to 20% off the retail value. So go over there, support the sponsors. Click the links, my friends. And of course, you guys can interact with today's show. If you haven't followed yet, hit the follow button and join us. When we hit 20 followers today, you guys get to decide something which happens next in our campaign and what we call viewer decisions. And of course, there is a tweet for you guys, 20 retweets, and you get another viewer decision. Last but not least, donate to a better game. Give players nat 1s, nat 20s, wilds, magic surges, and worse. So have fun with that, my friends. But I will hand over to Obo Crazy to remind us what happened last week on the show and to take us into today's episode of Monthly Modules.
Oh, to remind you what happened last week that's going to be your job.
It's a big ask.
Because, yeah, I know. Well, so here's the interesting thing. Nyla, the last thing you remember at this very moment is attacking this plant creature in what you recognize as a dream. Your attack seemed to have struck true, but nothing seemed to happen. It responded with curiosity and with a little bit of sadness. And then you wake up. You wake up in an inn that you don't recognize. But the good news is that your friends and family are around you in this inn. As the rest of you wake up in an inn you don't recognize. You all remember falling asleep in the Dwarven city. And Sugar, you do remember thinking, oh, if we got done with something, then we're probably going to go do something else. And like has happened multiple times in the past, you have fallen asleep in one place and seem to have woken up in another. And Nyla, as you look around at your friends as they start to wake up from their cots and beds, and you're thinking about what just happened, because the last thing that you remember is this haunting dream. Roll an intelligence check.
Okay, I will do. Oh no, skills. Where is it? Oh, there it is.
This bodes well for the intelligence check.
So 16.
Excellent. You recognize that moment in the dream as these were myconids, some kind of mushroom people. And you think you have that nagging sense in the back of your head, like when you wake up after having a dream, but you don't remember it. It's right there, and it's itching, and like something else happened in this dream, but you don't remember what it was. And the rest of you are waking up and see Nyla awake and seemingly unhurt. Maybe a little hungry. Been like a day.
So, Warbit has donated £5 to give the Dungeon Master over you a wild magic search to use at your leisure whenever you feel appropriate for the story.
I never feel appropriate to the story. It never happens. Thank you anyway.
Embrace the inappropriateness of this group.
Okay. Absolutely. So we wake up and we see Nyla. She's back alive.
She's been alive this whole time, but she's been dead.
Well, I haven't been checking. She could have been dead. As you all come, as though you remember going to sleep in the Dwarven city, having finished your the multiple tasks that you guys had set out to do, having received some of the payment that you have been offered, and now you wake up in an inn, but not the same inn. Again. Oh, this has happened again. Oh, Nyla, you're alive.
Nyla!
I was never dead.
Really?
No, we didn't think you were
no,
dead.
Of course, you were just asleep. It just felt like you were for a while. Okay, well, did you have good dreams?
Not really. I don't know, like, I just remember falling asleep and sitting around a table with my family, and there was something in the corner, and I got up, and it was like a giant mushroom. I think they were called myconids, but I'm not...
Yes, that's right. We did that
one.
We
saved them.
Right.
Oh.
We saved them. Then you fell asleep, and you've been asleep for a long time, and we got up to our own things while you were asleep.
Mm-hmm.
There were some dwarves and some books and some demonic souls.
Hand was bone for a while, but we got that back.
I turned into flesh for a bit, and then I turned out of flesh.
That was it was like a dream, but it also wasn't a dream. It was both dream flesh.
Was it?
Right. A lot of dream flesh.
Like the time you turned into a deer?
Almost, but just a lot more flesh than that.
You dream of eating donuts as well? Because I tried to feed you one while you were asleep.
Why'd you try to feed me a donut? No, I did not dream of a donut.
Wake you up.
It wasn't a flesh donut, just so you know.
Your body needed nourishment. You were asleep for so long. We'd worried that you'd just stop.
I braided your hair, see?
She grabs her hair. Thank you. It looks very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Now, go ahead and roll another intelligence check.
Oh.
Know what type of braid?
Ooh,
19.
Nice.
as they're kind of relaying the events that had happened while you were asleep, you start to remember some of what happened after you encountered this myconid. Like, you talked for a little bit, but it seemed amicable. And then there was something about your family and how they were plants and you were a plant, and how there's something about this kinship.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
I remember feeling a kinship.
Oh god.
A kinship with the myconid or a kinship with my family? A kinship with
Both.
the myconid. Oh god.
Both.
Both is good.
Both is
is
always.
I know, I say both like an ass. And it's
Wait,
Rooster
so you-
Teeth joke, sorry.
So you guys saved the myconids.
Right.
Yes.
Totally did.
They were very nice. We did like this weird, like, I don't know, like vision trip where we all saw each other's experiences and we grew closer as a group and as a family.
Oh,
Something like that.
interesting.
Ever seen?
I'm a
Just
goddess to
included.
dwarves. I'm a goddess to dwarves.
Yes, their puny minds don't seem to be able to comprehend Sugar's sheer velocity.
I love that.
But now we've woken up here, so probably there's an old lady around who wants us to do something again.
With
So
coffee.
let's just glaze over the past few days, Nyla. And now you're back with us. Nothing really interesting happened as far as I'm concerned because I didn't get to read that book.
Well,
What
you
book?
did have that thing where you thought you were a dwarf in love with another dwarf.
That happened.
Married.
Yes.
You were in
there
love
may
that
have
moment.
been a time
At
where
that
I
moment,
thought
there
that
is a
I
knock.
was-
There's a
Yes.
knock at the door, and you hear a very familiar voice that says, "Oh yes, I brought the coffee. Come on, someone
Oh.
open the door. Open the door."
I opened
She's-
it.
And you realize it's
throw
not-
the door open.
It wasn't that she was knocking. She was holding a platter with a bunch of cups of coffee, and she was kicking at the door. And there's your friend Sunday. She's like, "Oh yes, I got you here as quickly as I could while you're all asleep, because this was a little bit of a trip." And she comes walking on in, same kind
Wait.
of outrageous traveler's clothes, hair perfectly that silver blue coiffed, holding a tray
It's an old
of big
woman.
steaming mugs of coffee, and sets it down and looks over at Nyla and says, "Oh, did you have a good sleep?"
I wouldn't say good. I would say weird.
Long.
I had interesting dreams, and I have this overwhelming feeling of something.
Go ahead and roll another intelligence check.
Oh god. 12.
Yeah, they were weird dreams. They're super weird dreams. You had this weird hankering
Super
to
fucking
go visit your family for some reason. Like, there was some... you can't seem to remember much more about the dream,
Oh,
but
God.
that whole feeling connected to the plants and feeling connected to the mushrooms and feeling connected...
Sweats.
Like, kind of reminds you of, like... And it's because the dream was all the good parts of your family, you kind of feel a little wistful. Meanwhile, Zunde shoves a giant mug of coffee into your hands and says, "Well, good. Sip this slow. It's been like a day and a half since you've had anything to eat except for Diomedes tried to force feed you a donut. It was very adorable." And she starts passing out coffee.
I
I don't
drink
think
frosty.
force feeding is adorable, but whatever you think, I guess.
I mean, you were adorable while you were being force fed.
Well,
That's fine.
then you
That's-
kind of sicked some of it up again. It was...
I
Wasn't very-
cleaned it. Cleaned it though.
Right. Yeah.
Hundreds and thousands everywhere.
It was a team effort.
Next time I fall asleep, let's make a rule of no force feeding.
Good
Well, I
rule.
said,
What if
you know,
you die?
this might be something that you just do because you're a tree, and maybe you're doing your, like, tree stasis thing.
Definitely don't think it was because I was a tree, but now that you
Right.
speak of me being
Because
a
I did
tree,
water you.
is that why my clothes are wet?
Right, yes.
Oh no.
You,
Watering
You poor-
can.
Really,
Thought it
that's the
might help.
best thing he could say. That's probably the best thing that could have happened.
Yes, that is why.
Cause your clothes to be wet.
It's definitely why.
Okay.
So,
have to get those laundered, and Trinkle can take care of that while we're in town. But
Yes,
for the
yes.
meanwhile, you guys are gonna go see a friend of mine who has a problem that she needs solving. You know, like you have been.
Why would I? Oh, right, yes.
The whole
I have a
deal
lot
with the
of friends.
towels thing.
Towels.
towel.
Yeah. He looks back over at
so-
Nyla and says, "You still have some of those towels, right?"
I have 18, I believe, left.
Excellent. I'll have to restock you soon. I think you're gonna
Oh,
need
well.
more for him.
He was doing a really good job even without towels.
That is good.
Yeah,
Well, yes, I suppose
He's
I
a-
was. But
very
So-
supportive big brother.
After you poured water on me, did you think about, maybe soaking some of it up with a towel?
no.
That's... Oh, okay.
And next time, you just need to water her feet. It's just the base that needs to be watered. You don't need to like drench her completely.
I don't need to be watered at all, actually. It's not, my people don't get watered.
I'm getting mixed signals here. Why would we see your friend? What's wrong with her?
She's got a place outside of town that makes glass, and they are having a little bit of a problem that you can all help with. So her name is Chorus Side Band. If you go out the tavern and just go down the street, you'll see her little office building thing. Tell her I said hi. I haven't seen her in a while.
All right.
You could come say hi, Sunday.
I could, but I'm gonna be spending the day with Trinkle. We're gonna go and have a little bit of time together because she kind of had a rough time recently, and I think she could maybe use a little bit of vacation. And instead of falling asleep for a couple of days, we're gonna go shopping.
Cool.
Sounds like a
So
good
she's
idea.
downstairs.
I
Yeah, she's downstairs making a list of things that she wants to buy. She has a big list.
good for her.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay.
I
Where's
think
your
I'm
friend?
tired of this place and woman. Yes.
Go
why don't we find this
downstairs.
other woman?
Downstairs.
Go downstairs. Go
Got
take
it.
a left when you leave the tavern. Go look
Left.
for the Side Band Glass Works. You can't miss it. Triel isn't that
Right.
big of a town.
Sideband Glassworks, right? Let's see what dwarf has fallen into trouble again this time.
Oh, it's not a dwarf. This is a halfling.
Oh, thank goodness. Now I'm a lot more interested.
What exactly is the problem?
Well, you'll have
Because
to
every
talk to
time
her
you
to
get-
find out.
Let's go and
Yes,
talk to this
well.
woman, Ivy, so that we can stop talking to this woman.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
if
I
you
mean-
insist.
Because
We'll
she
talk to you
seems
later.
busy.
Well, I am busy. I'm taking your friend out on a shopping expedition because shopping
That-
fixes everything. And with that,
That
she
sounds very
twirls
important.
around, her coat flourishing as she sweeps out of the room in grand fashion to head back downstairs.
Bye.
Your patron of the mysterious
Really
arts
going
sending
to
you out
miss
another
her.
job.
You could be a little nicer to her. She's a nice person.
It's just that every time she said, "Oh, I have a favor for you to do from one of my friends," it's either turned out to be a Tarask, giant myconids entering our dreams, a book that's dark secrets in it.
She didn't
What's
send
the
us
other
on
one?
that one, guys. We did that one ourselves.
Oh,
That is
that's
true.
But still,
And
these
I can't
problems
blame her
start
for the
out small.
Tarask. I do blame her for the dwarves a lot.
That's
Wait,
fair.
the dwarves were the worst part of that for you?
Yes.
Yes, they were.
They were just awful. Yeah.
I got into a
It's just the way
fight.
she phrased it
Should have been
as
there.
A little problem.
I mean, I was asleep. I was there, though.
Right.
Well,
Well, you were and you weren't.
okay, let's go.
Cool.
All I'm saying is
I drink like all the coffee. I gave nobody coffee. I drank it all.
It's a big mug. You feel caffeinated and ready for the day. Diomedes, what did you say?
I was just saying that we're always going to be in over our heads. It's going to be like a small favor, and then it turns out to be something ridiculous. So expect the unexpected.
Ooh, Nyla, I smited something. You would have loved it. It just went like.
I cooked a giant crab with radiant energy.
I mean, that was pretty good too.
You're talking about this as you guys head downstairs, head out the tavern, you're kind of filling Nyla in on the greatest hits of the last couple of well, the last day and a half, really.
Damn. Yeah, I wasn't asleep that long.
Yeah, it was about a day and a half. You are starving and grab some food on the way out. Because watering didn't actually help, no matter what anyone says. As you guys get outside, you find yourself in a small town nowhere near where you were before. Zende had mentioned that this was the town of Triel, and you can all roll. Give me history checks. See if you know where that is.
Sounds elven.
Does sound a
Natural
little
20!
Hey!
Ooh.
23
20.
total.
Three.
All right.
And a 19.
Nice. Diomedes, you have no idea. It seems like a town. It's just another town. The rest of you...
Down another day.
Little sleepy town. The rest of you know Triel to be a small town on a fairly major route heading to Waterdeep. You guys are actually pretty close to Waterdeep. You're maybe like a couple of days by horse on the road. You don't remember hearing much about Triel. It's not a major town. It's pretty close to the Trielta Hills, which is where the town name comes from, and you know that along the trade way heading along the Sword Coast, this is a major thoroughfare. So maybe a small town, but there's probably a lot of trade and traffic going along this route. And as you step outside into the town, yeah, the major thoroughfare leading through is very wide. It's the morning and it seems to be incredibly busy. There are carts going by. There's a lot of activity, but you can clearly see just to your left, a few buildings down, a sign hanging outside of a smaller building that proclaims it's the Sideband Glassworks. And as you head off in that direction and knock on the door opens to a halfling woman, kind of in a plain outfit. Looks like she's just wearing kind of a shirt and some pants, nothing exciting. She's got a big mass of golden curls that she's in the process of trying to pull back into a ponytail kind of out of her face. She looks up at all of you and says, "Yes, you're the ones that Zende was going to send. Is she here?" And she kind of looks out the door looking around.
No,
Thankfully,
she's
no.
got something very important to do, so she sent us, her best people.
Excellent.
You
Come
said hi, though, right?
inside. Yes, we don't have much time. And she brings you inside to what looks like a kind of a small office. There's a bunch of filing cabinets along the one wall. There's a big desk that she quickly goes to sit behind and then realizes that she doesn't really have any seating for all of you and says, "I am so sorry. I only have the one chair, so I usually don't have this many people here. This is mostly administrative work here. You understand. Please, whoever
Sure.
would like, have a seat." And she indicates the one chair across from her.
Nyla, do you want to sit?
No, I can stand. I've been lying down for a long time.
Okay.
That is true.
You can sit.
I mean, okay, I guess I can sit. I will sit, but I want to look really cool. I turn the chair around and I sit on it like...
I was gonna say, do you do the Riker thing where you do like pull your leg up over the chair? Yeah.
Sorry
All
about
right. Please be comfortable. Do whatever you need. Just sit however
What
you'd like.
is- halfling woman, what is your problem? Almost everyone we speak to has one, and it seems like we're the only ones that can solve them. So please tell us your deep personal issues with something happening, and we'll try and solve them to kill the time and to gain towels.
You're being paid in towels. Sunday is usually very good about making sure. Oh, all right.
It's the only form I'll take.
I was going to pay in gold, but if you wish towels, I can certainly.
Gold is cool. I like gold, especially with Waterdeep being so close. We could really go shopping later. I like gold.
Okay,
You
well,
could catch up with Twinkle.
I'll just buy towels then, like an animal.
well, if you insist, we can decide on the payment later. So Sunday had said that you were the best at problem solving, and this is a problem that I have that I'm very concerned about. I run the Sideband Glassworks, which is located just outside of town in Merrick, and we were supposed to receive a shipment about a week ago, and nothing arrived. And so I sent out my daughter, Verna, and her wife, because they are experienced trackers, and to see what was going on, because I heard nothing, and it has been 3 days, and I have not heard from them either. So now I suspect something has gone wrong. She gives Ryland a curious look and says, I do not appreciate the faking of the concern. All I care about is...
Then I won't do it anymore, because
let me do it, Ryland. Let me do it. Oh, no. See? Genuine.
That one was better.
I also do not appreciate the patronizing of the faking of the concern.
Thank God we don't have to patronize. So let's be clear. I don't care that your friend's gone missing, but I will go looking for her nonetheless. You may not like it, but I'll get it done.
Does Ryland seem a little more uptight?
You guys haven't been working on your ship much. He missed that.
I've been asleep.
Yeah,
and
I know.
He wasn't talking to me.
I am
when
here.
I fell asleep.
Can't hear all of this.
We are very sorry, Miss Corside, and we are going to help you. Where do you know when? Did you hear from them where they were, or at what point the shipment went off track? What's the route that it comes on?
So there is a very clear route from Merrick, which is just a few hours outside of town. They are along a stream. That's where my factory is. And they were supposed to come a week ago. When nothing happened, I sent the two, and it's been 3 days. And now I need experienced people ready for trouble. This is not an area that is...
Do you mind if they are dead? Is that a problem?
Yes, very much. This is my daughter and her wife, and my family runs this business, and I would appreciate if they were found. I'm concerned about the business, but very first I'm concerned about the people. That I've heard nothing is concerning, and I would like to know that they are okay, and once they are okay, I would like to know that my business is not ruined.
So what if they are dead and your business is ruined?
I will be upset, and you will not be paid.
So
right,
that
will be your.
What
yes,
if they're
your
already
job.
dead? This is a terrible offer. I mean, they're probably already dead.
Well, the longer we wait, the more likely they are to be dead.
Let's renegotiate here. If they are dead, we should still get paid, but maybe less. I'm a fair man, maybe less, but we still should get paid somewhat, because I'm not going out there to find your dead friends, bring them back to you and say, yep, they are dead and your business is ruined for no reward.
Ryland, I don't think that's appropriate to say.
Riley, go ahead and roll a persuasion check. With disadvantage, because your companions are not supporting you in this.
No!
That's a 6.
Cora
We're all like, our mouths are engaged.
Cora gives you a very long look, and there's this brief silence. Then she looks over at Diomedes and says, "You've been quiet. I appreciate that. maybe you are the sane one.
Quiet as the
Sunday
grave.
does not find
Like your friends.
Sunday does not find normal people. She finds people who are powerful, but power comes with strangeness. I get that. Do you not at least understand that I care about my daughter and her wife?
You will find your daughter and your wife. Bring them back alive, and your business will be safe.
I ask that. All I ask is that you try. If something has gone wrong, I understand, and payment can be adjusted. But if you...
There we go. That's all I wanted.
Payment
Oh.
and payment is not necessary.
Yes.
For your reckless
And-
endangerment of your family. That's fine.
I don't need a payment
We'll
to be motivated
figure
to
it out.
save others.
My daughter is a very capable woman. That is why she and her partner went. They are trackers and very capable of defending themselves. And if they have been caught up in what is going on or unable to come back, then there is something more than even they can handle. And that is why I've called on you.
As I said, you have nothing to fear. Leave this in our hands.
She
Now,
seems...
Can you tell us
Just-
where exactly?
Yeah. On the
Yes.
route to Merrick along this stream.
Yes,
Okay.
so you will take the road out of town, not the tradeway, but there's one road, about a half of a day of travel by foot. You will go straight to Merrick. It is a tiny, tiny, tiny little village. It is a couple of houses and my factories. And that is it. Just go to see what is going on. Fix what has caused these issues. Make sure my family's alive and my workers are alive and they are all safe.
Yep.
We shall do this.
She reaches under her desk and pulls out a bag and puts a big heavy bag down and says, that is 250 gold to take care of expenses. If you come back with at least information, if not having fixed this problem, I will offer more depending on what you are able to do. And then she reaches down again and pulls out a map that shows a very crude kind of drawing of this area, the path out of town, and you can see that the map ends at this tiny little town of Merrick. And she's right; it lists maybe a dozen tiny buildings and then 3 large, what she has listed on the map as warehouses. And she says, "This is the layout of Merrick. It should be easy to find. It is all that is at the end of this road. You'll want to look for my daughter Verna and see if you can find her. If you can't find her or her wife, go to the tavern there in Merrick and look for China. She is the foreman that is making sure that everything should be okay. And if one of them cannot be found, then just see what you can find."
Okay. Time to go before we put our foot in our mouth any further.
I think it is too late
is
for that,
cool.
but that's fine.
Was your wife's name?
Hi. No, Verna's
my-
wife.
Yeah, my
Verna's the wife.
daughter's
What about-
name
No, Verna's
Yeah.
the daughter and it's Verna's wife.
is Nora.
Let's see, haven't been listening. Cool. Also, Wobbit donates £10 to give me a +1 magic towel. Fuck yeah, buddy.
All right,
He knows what's up.
Nyla, I will leave it up to you when you would like to present unto Rylan +1 magic towel.
When he has a better attitude, he gets a +1 magic.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yes!
I love it.
Yes!
I love it. Yeah, Rylan, you see as you guys stand up to leave, kind of having what information you think you need to get, Nyla is rummaging around in the bag that she holds all the towels, and you see one of them has an extra special glow to it, and then she kind of gives you a long look and then stuffs the towel back down.
plus one for what exactly?
I'll tell you when she gives you the tell.
We shall see what we shall see. Let's go. Right now.
Let's
Right
be on
now.
our way and find these potentially dead people.
Get out
not
of
gonna
the
be
door
dead.
before you speak again.
You guys leave. Cora shuts the door behind you. You hear her in halfling muttering under her breath as she shuts the door, and it might be something about mercenaries and god pawns. You're not quite sure. And you guys are going to head straight out.
Yeah, we'll take
Sure.
our way.
All right.
Yeah, let's go.
I don't like
Oh,
this
we can get
whole
on the
mercenary
carpet. So if we see anything, we could get on the carpet, not go too high up, because there's only 4 of us today. So we could all get on the carpet, and we could see if there are any disturbances along the route. It would give us a better vantage.
Very well.
That sounds like a great idea.
Thank you. I missed you.
I missed you too.
You all climb on the carpet and start to head down this. You can tell that it is the road that you're supposed to go down because the tradeway is very well cared for. It's large. It's got a lot of foot traffic. It's got a lot of horse and cart traffic. In places, it's actually cobblestones, especially in town. This road that you're going down is a dirt path, but it is well cared for, and you can see very easily as you're flying down it on the carpet that this is very clearly a cart path. You see almost dug into the dirt road ruts where carts have just constantly back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And as you guys are, how high are you flying?
What, like maybe 40 feet? Is that too high? 40 feet sound good to people? 40 feet.
Seems good.
Yeah.
All right. I would love you all to roll perception checks.
Okay. Oh, what's the area around like? Is it flat or is there forest?
It's light forest. It's a lot of sparse
Okay.
trees. There's a little bit of hills going on. But yeah, it's kind of light forest. It's kind of a gray, overcast day, but not raining. And you've got some pretty good visibility. 40 feet up gets you over the most of the tree line.
Okay.
All right, 23, 12, 10, and 11. It looks like.
Yeah.
All right. Nyla, as you peer out over the trees and watching the path, you're pretty sure that you can see off in the distance because of the height that you guys are flying in, maybe about 2 hours down the road at this speed, a river, and the path curves off to the left. And following the map that you have, it seems like where this path meets the river, that's where you're going to find the town of Merrick. Otherwise, the only other thing that you notice, besides that this is a well-worn, rutted path, nothing's been on this road recently. Like, it's well used except for the last weekend where you don't see any recent traffic.
Well, guys, according to the map, I think we should head towards the river. That seems where Merrick's gonna be. But also, if you look around, like, it doesn't seem like the path has been used in the last week or so. There's no
That's
new foot
strange.
traffic, it seems.
Could they have flown as well, perhaps? No, they had a wagon with them.
Yeah, I mean, unless it was a flying wagon, but I don't really think those exist.
That would be
Hmm.
I'm willing to
awesome.
believe it, I think, at this point.
Would be useful.
Wait, give me 5 minutes. Let me change this game.
Yeah. Okay, maybe. So you think maybe something is happening along the route to preventing people from coming through.
Do we wanna
Conspiracy
fly
theory, they never
lower?
went. She's sending us to her death because she's a halfling who maybe worships the undead.
Okay.
Just putting it out there in case that happens, I called it.
Sure. Yes, you did.
I would
Very
like her
smart.
a lot more if that were the case.
I know you would. Okay. So you want to head that way to the river?
I mean, yeah, that's what the
Let's
path
head to the river.
seems. Yeah.
Okay, I say
So the path
pathway
kind of
carpet.
the path kind of verges the road verges off to
Yeah.
the north. You can keep going kind of straight west through the trees and get to the river, or you can keep following the road. Which did you want to do? The map seems to indicate if you keep following the road, it basically dead ends at this town next to the river, but you're gonna take a wide angle. It seems like you're going around some of the hills that are in this area. It seems like some of the larger ones, you're kind of weaving your way through them.
Maybe it would be good to go over, see if we can see anything like
Yeah,
just in the
absolutely.
trees.
Do a flyby.
So kind of in between the two, like
Okay.
between the river and the road, looking kind of down in the trees when we can.
Sure. So you're gonna hop above the trees and do the flyby? Sure. All right, you travel for a good, it's about 2 hours. The carpet goes pretty fast, and you don't really come across any obstructions. As the road continues kind of its harsh turn to go north, and you start to see in the distance what looks like an opening, a clearing where there would be some buildings, and the map indicates the same thing. You bank off and head towards the side of this river. It's a fairly large river. It actually has a little bit of a sandy bank along it. And as you're coming up north along the river, you do get actually a very nice view of the town. I will just share this with everybody.
Ooh.
Oh my god, things are happening and I'm
It's
not prepared.
pretty.
Since you're flying, essentially, you're flying in, you get a view of this town. It is tiny. So you guys are going to be coming in from, if north is up, you're coming in from the east, so from the right side of the map. Over the tree line, you can see about this dozen small, what looks like a mixture of houses and maybe 1 or 2 trade buildings. And then these 3 huge, what are listed on the map as a warehouse. They've got a big front yard where there are carts set up, and they're right along the bank of this river. And the first thing I'd like everybody to do is roll perception checks.
Okay.
Interesting.
Natural one.
Another natural one for me as well.
Oh, well, I was going to do this on the first natural one, but since we have 2 natural ones, I think that wild magic surge is about to go off.
Oh
Yes.
no!
Yeah, all right. Sugar.
On the carpet.
Yeah, Sugar, go ahead and roll a wild magic surge.
Yeah, better not be laughing. I really didn't like laughing. Okay.
We'll see what happens. I was specifically
39,
waiting.
13.
39, 13 for Sugar.
What a cracker.
Buddy. Is when you use mirror image, images look like demons. Maybe when you look in mirrors, you see demons.
I was about to say, do you even
I
have
don't
mirror image?
No, I don't have mirror image, but
Yeah.
I
Next
know
time
you'll
you
come
look in
up
a
with
mirror,
something fun.
yeah, next time you look in a mirror,
See a
something fun is
picture.
going to happen.
I look in mirrors
Okay.
all the time, so good.
Okay, so Sugar rolled a natural one. Rylan rolled a natural one. What, Zymedes got 22 and Nyla got a what?
13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sugar and Ryland, you are both. One of you says something to the other, like some offhand comment, and the two you're distracted by each other. Like you're kind of both. You've been on edge since this morning. Sugar is upset at Ryland because of the way he acted. Ryland doesn't know why Sugar is upset, and the two of you are just kind of eyeing each other instead of
I
down.
just think that if you let me braid your hair, it would look really good. I can make it look
You are-
really cool.
Never going to touch me.
I am your sister. We literally touched like the other
Gross.
day.
Gross.
You were there. You are such a liar. You are such a
Nyla.
liar.
Nyla, you are slightly distracted by this interaction
Their conversation.
between. Yeah, I mean,
This
it's
isn't a
loud.
conversation.
Yeah, this is an argument. This is a sister brother argument.
This is
Um,
an old argument.
Yeah,
I'm
you do
used to
try
it
to
at this point.
focus. Yeah. Actually, we'll get to you in a second. So you are able to focus a little bit on this town. You do notice, for it being ostensibly a work day, and for ostensibly this being a town built around what seems to be warehouses for making glass, you don't see anyone. There's nobody.
So no one's like out.
There's no, you
Okay.
do not see any movement. You do not see any figures, nothing. Diomedes, you are very used to ignoring the two of them when they argue. You just, like, you're perfect at it. And so you take a really close look at this town. The most furthest of these warehouses, the whole top of it is torn open. Half the roof is gone. And from this angle, oh god, we got another one. From this angle,
That's from
you
me.
can tell it's like been peeled back. Like a giant hand came along and just pulled up the roof. And you see that a lot of the carts that are parked in front of these three warehouses, that assumably they're loading and unloading supplies and glass and things to go to the town, several of them are smashed and broken. Who got a wild magic surge?
So I got one
Rylan.
from Wobbits, because I rolled a nat one as well. And my spellbook can be used as an anvil, but it also weighs as much as an anvil. So
Okay.
What's your strength score?
that is a solid 10.
Less worried about that, more worried about the weight limit of the carpet.
Yeah, you should all be worried about that, because as Zymedes, you look over the edge of this carpet and see all these things and have just enough time. Rylan, where do you stash your spellbook?
I'd rather not say. No, it's in my
Okay.
bag. It's somewhere. It'd be somewhere in my it's got like a messenger bag for sure.
Okay, are you currently wearing the messenger bag, or did you put it
Yeah,
like
I have
down
it strapped
next to you?
over
On the...
his.
Okay,
I've been bedazzling it when he's not looking.
well,
Yeah, it's got like
As-
fucking buttons all over it for your favorite bands and stuff.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's super 2000 thing to do.
Yep.
As you are arguing with each other about anything, as brother and sister do, Rylan, you are jerked to the right as your bag is suddenly so heavy you can't lift it. It impacts the carpet, and then the carpet starts to rapidly descend. You are currently crashing into the middle of this town. You have a moment. What are
There's
you gonna
wild
do?
magic in this place. Try and steer us to safety.
Is he falling?
We need to-
The
No, we're
whole
all
carpet,
falling.
yeah, the
I
I just
whole
wanted to
carpet
make
is
sure
falling.
he wasn't. Okay.
we need
No,
to lose some
so-
weight.
Yeah, the
can I,
bag
like, try and
has.
throw it off, like off from the carpet.
I would love for you to make a strength check to do that.
I may need
You-
some help.
You
Throw all your belongings over.
Oh,
That's
that's
a
pretty good. That's
15.
pretty good.
you manage to get it, because you basically have to lift it up to then get it off of you, and it back onto the carpet, and then the carpet is continuing to dive, and then as you're pushing it over, it's inelegant, but you like push it over the side of this carpet as you know you're 50 feet, 45 feet, 40, 35 feet. Everyone else give me perception checks.
Uh-oh. We like to make a splash when we enter new plations that are
coming in.
potentially dangerous.
Or a crash, more like.
14.
6.
Thank God I avoided a natural one with a 16.
Okay. The rest of you are, everybody but Diomedes is watching as Rylan pushes his bag off of the carpet. You get to about 30, 25 feet as you are deep diving down towards the town, and where you manage to, you watch as the bag tumbles in air and then lands onto the, right in the town where the path does the sharp curve towards the three warehouses. It just, right there, just
It's a
cloud of dust and dirt. Zymedes, something makes you look up, and you see as oh, whiplash. So you watch him toss this thing over. The carpet stabilizes at about 20 feet, and something, like some instinct, makes you look up and look around, and you see this humongous creature swoop past you, right where the carpet was when all of a sudden Ryland's bag decided to be an anvil. The cloud, the shadow that this thing casts over you is immense, and everyone else is too busy looking down to really notice. This massive bird just had been going right for you and just barely misses you as you did this deep dive. Now that you've stabilized, you see this bird arcing around, and it's starting to come around for another pass.
Okay. Are we landed, or have we kind of just hovered before landing? Before.
We're 20 feet.
Yeah, you're about 20 feet
20
above the ground. You've stabilized as this thing is now arcing around, swooping in the air, and it's coming around for a second attack run.
I would say damn our luck and your magics, but that just saved our lives because that thing nearly killed us. I point towards it. Ready yourselves. Coming back.
Should we
Yes, that was all
maybe,
planned.
maybe
all
we should
planned.
get in cover? That thing is huge.
Inside, probably best. Yes, maybe one of those houses.
Oh God.
Yeah, you can now all see it is
Rocks.
humongous. It is easily the size of one of these warehouses, and it is banking around and coming around for another pass at you. One of its claws is the size of all four of you.
Ah!
Can you say we're
Inside,
about-
I think.
Yeah, inside sounds
Sure.
great. Let's go.
Okay,
Why
we
the
got
cops
in one.
here?
Yeah, we're about
Not
to
the open one. Not the open warehouse, maybe.
Right.
All right, so you
the
guys,
closed warehouse.
let's go ahead and stick you guys all on the map here. And oh, you're all way
spinning
too
me round.
big.
I never remember how to make myself
You can
smaller.
hold them control, and like scroll.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Got it.
So where the
Two
carpet
seconds.
is, where the four of you are right now, you're hovering, basically where Diomedes is. You're kind of hovering right there. The four of you are right there.
Okay.
Where would you like to go as this creature swoops around for you again?
This
the nearest
big
warehouse.
blue one.
Yep. Nearest warehouse.
Yep.
All right. You arc around, and the front door, you see it's kind of a big barn door. It is shuttered and closed. And as you land and go towards the door, it seems to be locked. You push on the
I'm
door and
running
nothing
through.
happens.
Yep.
Running through the door. I don't
I
know.
help. I'm gonna help him.
You're going to try to
Just like
batter
with my
open the door?
shield. Yeah.
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 I literally
All right.
run it.
The two of you roll strength checks, I guess. Yeah, strength checks. I'll let you do athletics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go ahead and do athletics
Okay.
as you run along to the front of this building.
Why it did the disadvantage thing again? I swear to
Oh,
God. Okay. I'm just gonna redo it
I
redo
missed
it.
the table.
and
Roll a
roll it
19,
flat.
missed the table.
So 17 when it doesn't mess with me.
And Diomedes, what'd you get? Okay. The two of you elbow into the door as hard as you possibly can. There are these big, they're bay doors, essentially, two of them. And as you both ram yourselves into them, there is a hearty crack. You see the doors crack a little bit, but they're shuttered from the inside. They're like locked from the inside. And you hear
Is there
someone
a-
on the inside go, you hear a voice inside go, "What? It's back! It's back! Everybody gets back!" And you hear a group of people like,
Let us in.
"Ah!"
Verna? Nora?
Not important.
There's a pause, and then inside these big bay doors, a small door opens up, and you see a little halfling poke her head out and go, "Nothing you're doing! Get inside! Get inside!" And she starts to lead you on in.
sorry. Yep.
Close the doors.
You rush in just as this huge bird swoops down, finally catching up to you. It arcs past the building, and you feel this gust of wind as you all rush inside of this warehouse area. And everybody roll perception checks.
Right.
$15.
18.
19.
13.
Okay. You all rush inside. This halfling slams close this the small hatchway door in the big bay doors, and there's this quiet moment as you all just stay still as you hear the bird arc about. You hear it screech off in the distance. It is this reverberating caw of a beast that is massive in proportions. You hear it swoop down again, and it's obviously tried to grab something on the top of the roof, and the whole roof shudders and shakes. And inside you and what are now about a half a dozen other halflings you can see all duck, and a few people muffle some cries as a few pieces of wood shake loose and fall down. Another bit of the roof is punctured by one of its claws as it just grips the side of this building. It seems to pull for a little bit and then is unsuccessful and lets go, and you hear it.
Right.
Quiet. And then it's gone.
Everyone all right?
Yes.
Uh-huh. That was a big burb.
Only just saw it in time. We can tell what happened to the other roof, at least. That mystery's solved. And it'll
Well-
also explain why the track suddenly disappeared.
Uh-huh.
Well,
It's a
that is
bird.
the main reason. Yes, it is. It and its sister are a problem. You look
There
over,
are-
and
Fascinating.
there are two of them. For reference sake, this thing is considered, as it flies by, a huge creature. And
Okay.
I'd love all of you to roll nature checks as
Woo!
this halfling that had let you on in says, yes, they're the reason that we've had problems here.
7.
Amazing.
Oh my god, that's
Zero.
amazing. That is 0. Oh, cheers to you, my friend.
You're not even sure it's
Okay.
real.
Sugar got a 7. Yeah. You're like, that thing is not a part of nature. That thing must
Have
be
you
something
recently
supernatural.
Have you recently been conducting research on dinosaurs, trying to bring them back to life via DNA analysis? Because so
Mixing them with
I have
frog
you.
DNA.
Yeah. You're feeding the pigeons around here.
Yeah, Ziomedes and Sugar have no clue what this thing is. Nyland Ryland, as this halfling talks about that it's the cause, you have a moment to recognize some of the coloring, some of the sheer size of this bird. There's only one thing it could be. It's a rock.
nice. Babylon also gives a wild magic surge for the rock. Awesome.
Or the rock. All right.
Insta death.
Oh, good.
It dies instantly. Oh, so sad.
Magic
Oh.
or the rock. All right. Well, next time the rock shows up, the first thing that'll happen is a wild magic surge. Okay.
Great.
As you realize what this creature is, you turn towards the woman that had been standing there. This woman must be a relationship to Cora. She's got the same curly blonde hair. She's wearing much more practical clothing. She's got heavy leather boots and thick breeches and heavy leather armor on, and she says, my name is Verna. Were you sent by Cora? Were you sent by my mother?
Yes.
Sure.
She was very worried about you and Nora.
As
Became a
she
lot more
should be.
interesting.
This is the reason why. There are 2 of them, and they are destroying our entire operation here.
Did they just turn up?
2 of them, yes, about a week ago, according to everybody. And she looks back at this collection of other halflings, most of whom you can see must also be workers here. They're also wearing kind of thicker leather, and you notice that now that you kind of look around this place, this warehouse, it's massive, it's very long, it's very plain looking, like you expected an operation. This is supposed to be a glassworks, but you see a couple of large snails at the very end. There seems to be 4 of them, and a couple of halflings standing around by these snails. And Vera points. Yeah, she points towards the far end where these snails are, and they're huge. They're like the size of a person. And she says, "We think that they might have been attracted by the snails, and but I don't know how they
feed the snails to them."
That is the problem. They have eaten all of the snails in Warehouse 1, and now they want more. And several of the townspeople have already become snacks. With the size of those creatures, unless they can be convinced to go away, they will just stay here and feed forever, and we only have so many snails.
Well, I don't seem very reasonable to a conversation.
And you need the snails?
Do the snails help with the business?
The snails are the business. Come. And she brings you on down to the end of the warehouse, and you can see these 4 snails. They have this gorgeous shell. It's this multicolored shell on them that seems to reflect the light. There's a couple of torches kind of scattered throughout the place, and the floor itself is concrete. It's this very smooth concrete, and you can see that the snails are very slowly moving around, following these halflings who are spreading dirt and rocks, and occasionally what looks like a piece of a crystal or some minerals, just very rough stuff, onto the ground in front of them, and the snails are slowly but greedily lapping them up. And behind the snails, they're leaving this trail of what you think is snail slime. And Vera points to them and says, "They are flail snails. They leave behind a trail that hardens into glass, and we harvest the glass, and that's what we send. That's our business."
So here's the thing. There's your business, which is great, but there's also your lives, which it seems like you would probably value higher than your business, which is, to say, pretty gross anyway. So have you tried maybe letting the snails be a distraction and then running away, fleeing your homes, and going to Waterdeep? That seems like a good option to me.
We believe that is an option. However, the snails are slow, and we only have 8 of them left, and the rocks are fast, and a couple of people who decided to flee. You've heard nothing? No one has returned in the last week from this place?
No.
Then I believe fleeing is an option that needs more planning.
Right.
As
okay, so
there is no
let's think
outrunning
of
those
alternatives. These creatures, can they be tamed somehow? Perhaps, Nyla, with your knowledge of natural things that you like, maybe we could put a harness on them, or feed them something else, calm them down, or wait for them to fall asleep, something like that.
Can I roll a nature check and see if I know, like, how much I know about the rocks?
Yeah, do
About
they
rocks?
have, like, a nest? Like, do they nest? Maybe they're somewhere
Yes, presumably
around
they have a home somewhere, a cave or a
Ooh,
eerie.
nice.
I am.
Nice, dirty 20. So these are legendary creatures, and you think from what you remember reading about them and hearing stories about them, the size of the one that attacked you, it must be young, because these usually grow to gargantuan size. The ones that you've read about, the adults, are like maybe twice the size of the one that came after you. You do know that they do nest. Go ahead.
So they're not tameable?
You remember hearing stories about how they were created to be the mounts for giants, and that giants used to ride them, but even the giants every once in a while would dismount and have to fend them off, as they're wild mounts. They are not easily tameable. You've never heard of anyone besides the tales of giants being able to tame these things, mostly because of their size. Maybe if you had an egg or a very, very young one, you could try. But these seem to be adolescents, or at least the one that attacked you, an adolescent, and it might, I mean, maybe if you had enough food to feed it, you could satiate it for a little while. You, in specific, if you wanted to try to talk to it, you know that they're not super intelligent. They're not human levels of intelligence, but you could try to speak to them. But they are massive wild creatures. You do also know that when Vera was talking about a pair of them, a brother and a sister, that's a little odd. Usually they get so big that only one of them in an area can really be sustained. They can decimate all of the food in an area in miles and miles. And so these two, they must be a brother-sister pair who are getting pretty close to splitting up, and yeah, they're just eating whatever they can find, and the snails must be a tasty, easy snack.
Awkward parallels to our own, like.
Tell me so I can do this in the game too. Just this.
I'm about to. I don't know if these are tameable creatures, because these are not their full-grown size. They're about half the size of what they probably will be. And normally there's only one in an area. It's very rare that there are two in an area, so they must be family, like a brother and sister.
Right.
And, you know, I mean, we could try talking to them, but they're not.
Do they speak common?
Do they speak common?
No, you know of people like casting Speak with Animals,
yeah,
and trying to speak with them.
We'd have to cast something like Speak with Animals to be able to speak with them.
The thing is not an animal, a monster.
The only people that ever tamed them were giants, and even they had to defend them off.
Can't choose your family, eh?
What?
They're brother and sister. I said, you can't choose your family, eh? Like that old saying.
Yes, that's
squint
correct.
You. Yep, I'm just squinting.
Like,
I'm going to punch you in the stomach one day.
well, I say we feed one of the rocks Ryland and see if that helps.
These. That is not funny. That is not funny.
That's just uncalled for.
Verna speaks up at this point and said, he would be half of a snack. That would give us maybe 10 seconds. We need more than that. She seems perfectly happy to feed Ryland to this rock.
I'm a 10-second kind of guy.
All sorts of weird magical effects happen around him. Perhaps it'll make
information.
What? Oh, right. Got it. All right. Like nests somewhere nearby? Have you seen them fly back to an eyrie or a cave, perhaps?
They seem to mostly come from the east, but I don't want to send anybody outside the home. As soon as anyone leaves, as soon as any movement is seen, one of them is here attacking. They must be constantly circling, looking for food. So we haven't been able to scout around without being in dire danger. They've eaten all of the snails. They hunt at night, they hunt in the day, they are indiscriminate, and they seem to be looking for easy prey. They get discouraged easily, so that can work to our advantage. We have been hoping by staying inside and being unseen, and eventually they will get tired and move on, because
Well,
they
that
are
only
only such an
lasts
easy
too
prey.
long.
Not while I have food here.
You
They
don't
probably
know how
can
long
smell
it
you.
will take.
You're not safe
Well-
here.
No, none of us are. That has been what we've been trying to figure out. Unfortunately, my mother has sent you. Hopefully you can help. You have an idea.
Yes, yes. They must sleep at some time, surely. They must rest.
Assumably, yes, but there are two of them.
Well, yes.
Do they
but-
ever split up? I mean, I wouldn't want to split up a brother and sister. That would be really sad. But do they ever split up?
Very often. There are usually only one on some kind of excursion.
Do they not get
usually-
along?
They are competitive, I think. When they were going after the snails that were in Warehouse 1, one of them managed to open the roof, and about 30 minutes later, the other saw and showed up, and they squabbled and fought, but it was...
Interesting. Is the male
Yes.
the alpha or the
No,
female?
definitely not. It's definitely the female, right, Nyla?
They could both be men.
Right, Nyla?
I would have to.
Right, Nyla?
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 They could both be female,
Nyla?
they could both be male.
I mean,
I know.
Nyla, you do know that because they live solitary lives, they do not usually hunt in packs. There's no such thing as an alpha. They are
Sweet.
just individuals.
Sugar,
Guru.
Rylan.
Yes.
Normally, they do split up after adolescence, so there
Aw.
isn't an alpha. There is no
Interesting.
alpha. They're equals. You know, equality. What we fight for so hard these days.
Yes.
Why do we care about the equality of these things? They're clearly
I
monsters.
care.
And I've got something I can feed them, and I heft up my partisan. This might sate their hunger.
Well,
Yeah,
then
yes,
they would
well, as I
eat
mean,
it, and you
They
wouldn't
would
have
probably
it
eat
anymore.
it and you. Here's my thinking, though. They say that they are at the point, perhaps, where they're growing older and may split with one another. Presumably, at that point, the familial bond will break and they will be more agitated
No.
towards one another as competitors. Perhaps we could get them to fight one another to the death, or just to severe maiming and injury to the point where they fly away.
Right. Only the worthy may survive. We
Perhaps
slay the
a
one.
Well,
scent or pheromone would anger them such, and we could use that to incite a battle.
I mean, if they were in competition over something, maybe they'd fight over it,
Like a
But we'd have
prize, like food.
like food. But we'd have to get them
Mm.
both here at the same time.
Big
They
enough.
did fight over the
prize.
snails when they first found them.
So we send a snail outside.
Yep. We got 8. We can do this 8 times. We'll have a tournament.
Well, I think a big
Best of 8.
prize. If it's just one, maybe not. If it's a whole horde of them, or a house full of people as well, maybe they'd be more enticed. Not that I'm suggesting we use them as bait, all of these people, but let's say we did. I think it might be more effective.
I think they want the snails over the people, since the snails are maybe a little bigger.
The delicacy.
Party.
Yeah, well,
But I
And
want to
slower.
protect
They're-
the snails. I want to protect the
just-
snails. I pet one.
either way we cut this, the snails are gonna die.
It's so you
Wait,
kind of
why-
pet
why would the
along the
snail
back
die?
of this.
They're gonna
I
die.
pet.
Yes.
It's got these huge stalks, not eye stalks. It's got kind of normalized, but it's got these huge stalks with these little. They almost look like little maces on the end, and they start to wave a little bit. And the one that has been feeding it, essentially, has been putting down stuff in front of it, reaches out to you and says, "Oh no, they're like over here." And she kind of just moves your hand a little bit, so instead of along the back, it's along kind of the side of the neck. Your hand comes away covered in slime, but it's very obvious that this thing enjoys it, as it stops eating for a moment, it stops moving, and it
We cannot
what?
use the snails.
Don't get attached. We're going to use it as bait, and it's going to get
No,
eaten.
I'm going to name it Freddy.
Oh, this one is named Bob. Fred is in warehouse too.
Okay, good. Bob.
I'm not going there.
Bobby.
We could fill Bob with
Bobby!
dynamite.
I
And then when it
pressed to
eats Bob-
digitate the
I
slime off
like this
me.
idea a lot. If we could stuff them full with some kind of explosive device. This is
No!
a factory. There must be dangerous things around.
No.
I could shoot an arrow with
Your
fire
atomic-
on it.
Arrows, yes.
No, we never created more, so I'm out.
Oh shit! Can we make some more now?
No, because we
You
never
have-
studied them.
Let's say that
Poison. We poison.
Poison.
I mean, what I think is going to happen is like we lure the rocks, right? But then as soon as we start attacking it, you know, they're going to go away and then just come back later.
Yes.
Not
No
if
way
we
of
poison
keeping
them. We send snails with poison on them out. We'd only need one or two.
To kill the snails, they're part of the livelihood of these people.
Sugar,
Well, they're
the
going to
snail that
die
you are
if we don't.
petting, has started to purr.
We are not poisoning anything. No. No.
What if the sacrifice is made for the good of the rest of the snails and the people?
Indeed.
It's
Vera's
Diomedes is on our side right now. This is a first.
Verna does speak up and says, "It would be nice if we could save at least some of the snails, but I am more concerned about the people here. If
Right.
we can,
well,
we
nobody
can
think
go
of the
hunting
children.
more snails.
All I want to do is kill
have no
snails.
children here. This is
They're not
this is a
children,
mining
they're
town.
halflings.
There are no
They
children.
are halflings. They're basically children. Anyway,
Rylan,
it's
what's
all like
Hey.
your mind about children?
The rock are the children because they're the adolescents. They're not fully grown.
Yeah. So we're killing children.
But
Verna
they
walks
are
up to you.
I've
Verna
only
walks
ever
up to
killed
you,
a child
Ryland, and says,
once.
if do all halflings look like children to you, or does that mean you are old because you are not a halfling? Are you ancient?
Well,
Listen,
I'm
I
95.
don't care. I'm trying to save your people's lives here. And I can just very well walk away from this if I want.
I don't think
Be
you
my
can.
guest. Walk outside. We will use your running from the rocks to try to escape.
I have a magical carpet, and I can teleport wherever I want. Within
Yes.
500 feet.
Did you
I've
just
heard that
threaten
about
her?
you.
Listen,
No,
there- I would like to save the snails, but I would rather save the people. There are about a dozen people here who we need to evacuate, or we need to figure out how to scare the rocks off. And while I would prefer not eating into the reason that we have a business, we can get more snails.
Okay, new plan.
Okay.
Not
Not
only do we
Bobby.
use the snails to lure them in, at the same time, we trap the rocks, maybe with all of everyone here using ropes to hold them down or to trap them somehow with some kind of torture device that maybe I've already planned for. I have dragon baits. They should probably work on these things as well. And then we either trap them there and kill them because they're probably less effective when they're on the ground than when they're swooping in to kill.
Mhm.
Or we just leave them there for a while and run away. We probably kill them. We kill them.
You'd also have a chance to talk to them. However, you'd only probably be able to pin one down. What happens when the other turns up?
Well, we'd have probably some time between the two if they don't
kill it
usually
quick.
come together.
On to the next one. That way, maybe we save some snails as well. We just kill some animals, which is basically the
The
same
other
thing.
issue is, how do we exactly trap a gigantic creature like that? I don't think ropes and everything are quite so reliable, but
You could probably bite through the ropes.
have you got any magic to hold the creature still?
I could
Kind of,
Ten-
yeah. Kind of, yeah.
Maybe.
Are you able to create an illusion, Rylan? Perhaps you could use that as a distraction as well.
No,
That's good.
I can't do that. But I tell you what I could do. I can create a door through time and space, but mostly space, which would allow me and someone else to go anywhere within 500 feet, such as the creature's back. If I could get you, Diomedes, onto the back of the creature, perhaps then, holding on, we could kill the creature while it was on the roof.
Rylan, I don't think it would be very smart for you to go on top of one of these birds.
Well, maybe not me. Maybe just Diomedes. But maybe also me. Also me, yes.
Well, I could just fly up to one of them, but...
Well, it's quick. It's probably faster than us.
I might be able to get it to stay.
A creature that large as well, by the way. I wouldn't be able to grapple the thing.
No.
I mean, you could try and then try and fail and then
try and make it duel me.
Wow.
Probably duel you.
Yeah.
Does anybody have speak with animals?
No, wait, you don't?
I was hoping you might.
Yeah,
I'm not a beast master, I'm an archer.
Oh, well.
Oh, no.
All right. Well,
okay, but first, what's the end goal? Are we trying to kill this creature, or are we trying to just detain it? I mean...
Well, I think if we detain it, it'll probably break free and kill more people or snails. Yep. If we kill it, it's a monster. I mean, it may be an animal, but this thing's huge. It's been killing people and snails as well.
It cannot be killed. And unfortunately, we don't have the means to reason with it. If we did, we'd have more option. But in our current situation, we have no way to talk to it. We can only take it down.
Exactly. And, the children. Again, I rest my case.
Verna speaks up again and says, "Yes, think of the children."
Why do you keep
I'm thinking of you.
People hate us. Why do you keep doing that?
What? I'm just helping.
I am
very
all for
sensitive these days.
Or driving off these beasts. How would you like to do this?
I guess we're...
What do you
are we... What we could try to do if we want to be really crazy is we have a snail, not Bobby. We have a snail whose name you don't tell me because I don't want to know. We bring the snail outside, we get it to calm down. I try to make it stay by either commanding it or making it duel me, and then maybe everyone else in here can keep an eye out for the other one throw. We could what is it with the little people, Gulliver's Travels. We could Gulliver's Travels it, throw things over it and everybody pulls down.
It's like the beginning of fucking nope, not coming to me. Gotta move on. I went into it knowing that I couldn't think of what the movie was called, so it was a risky one where I thought maybe it would come to me as I say this. No.
I think the plan is
we all got ropes.
Yeah.
Jean Valjean, what's that fucking French one?
Les Mis,
thank you. Well, they've all got the ropes on the ship and shit, yeah.
Okay. Alright.
We do that, but on the rock. It's incredibly long.
Do we have
I was not expecting a Les Mis reference, but that's okay.
We're very, very musical theater oriented today.
Yeah,
I'm okay with this. We don't even have Trinkle here to sing along. That would be great.
This plan is great up until the point when the other rock turns up.
See, chat knew what I was talking about.
We have to keep an eye out for it. Is what they don't usually come at the same time.
It will come though.
Why? Just because? Why?
They might hear the screams of distress. We'll just have to kill it quickly.
These creatures are able to
care about each other. They're a brother and sister. They don't care about each other, so maybe they won't come.
Maybe not.
They will.
That is true. I mean, it's but they will to every. Maybe they won't.
You're a pessimist today. You're such a pessimist.
Yeah.
No,
we have found
these
that
creatures are incredibly fast in the air. Their nest is clearly not that too far away. Even if it is far away, they can travel that distance very, very quickly. As soon as it hears the screech, it'll be able to get here in no time at all.
Well, fine. Let's all give up and sit down, cross-legged, and not do anything, Diomedes.
Have we also thought about using the snail glass somehow? I don't know, like rain snail glass on them. It might hurt. Like use some traps and stuff. Could be fun.
Have it land on snail glass?
Yeah, land on snail glass. Ouch. You know?
We have plenty of glass.
It sounded better in my head, honestly.
You can have as much glass as you want. We've been harvesting, but have not been able to send a shipment in a week. So we have, as long as we have snails, we have an endless supply of glass.
So you really only need one snail to have endless supply of glass.
There's no, we have 8, and so we have endless supplies times 8.
You only need one. You only,
He said he could hunt for more.
We can get more. It will take time, and if it means it saves everybody, then that is so. But at the moment, if all you need is glass, as long as we still have snails, you will have glass.
Right, let's make some glass traps first. Let's get some ropes, and then we call it down, and like one of us stands up and is like, "Ooh, over here," and then I misty step down. And it comes in on the glass. Ouch! Surprise! Suddenly glass. And then the ropes. And then Diomedes flies up there and kills it.
I 100% have to say, I am so confused on this plan right now.
It's very simple.
Let's do it. Do you have any space?
Ouch, glass.
How do you say, okay, let's do it to that, though?
Because you're clearly not to listen to my reasoning, but I'm fine with killing them, so...
Verna says, how big of a pane of glass do you need, and what do you want it shaped in? We can do that
6
here.
by 10. Can you do double glazed?
That's in one of the other... No, that's when we sent it into town. So you have to go to Waterdeep for that kind of... No, we just make the panes, but they're very clear. They're super clear. And she walks over to where there are a couple of racks set up on the side. You can see now basically what the people are doing is they're feeding the snails and leading them on these long trails down the warehouse. By the time the snail gets to one end of the warehouse, as you guys have been talking, the other end has hardened all of the slime that they've left behind, and people have come up behind it with chisels and basically pulled up like 12, 14-foot long sections of very clear, rather thick glass, and start to just push it onto the side where they've set up these warehouses. Someone just get a magic a wild surge. Yeah.
All right. Donation. 2 for Diomedes, 1 for Sugar, and 1 for Rylan. And of course, wild magic surges.
Oh my god. All right.
Oh boy. All right, I'll look up
Verna's
mine.
gonna walk over and go starting to grab some glass. Meanwhile,
I believe that whatever I last ate gave me eternal life.
Who was this? Who got this one?
I believe that whatever I last ate gave me eternal life.
Your breakfast this morning?
Yeah, really good breakfast.
Halflings know the secret to eternal life, guys.
It's Kronos.
All right.
Jesus Christ. If Sugar is wearing a magic ring, her eyes turn invisible.
Are you wearing a magic ring?
I am not.
Okay.
Not yet. That's coming soon. Great stuff.
I just thought of something after Chris's.
Diomedes, 9925.
Oh no!
Well, good fucking luck on this one, Lauren, because this is the end of the world. 9925. The planet splits into 2 stable hemispheres 10 yards apart. The planet splits into 2 stable hemispheres 10 yards apart.
What? Is that here?
It's not over yet. There's one last one.
Yes. Hit me with some more.
Woodland creatures openly mock Diomedes and call him a coward.
Those wooden creatures.
Are there any more?
That's all of it.
All right.
Aren't I a
I
wood
did it,
creature
Angela.
because I'm a wood elf?
Please, yes.
No,
yes.
you're not considered a
Yes.
creature. No, you're
I
not
could be-
considered
well,
a
I'm a
creature.
tree.
You are a humanoid. There's a
Are
difference.
the
Okay.
rocks woodland creatures?
Verna walks over with a pane of glass. Is like, I can get you as much, and then there's this sudden doosh from outside as you've been all so distracted by coming up with these plans and everything that none of you noticed, as apparently one of the rocks has come back and is starting to claw at the top of the warehouse. A section of it pulls up and out with a mighty crack, and this gigantic head and beak poke in and look down upon all of you. It looks at Diomedes and goes, "You coward, come out and fight me!"
You dare mock me, bird?
You dare hide from me?
Oh, we're coming out. Don't worry. Just wait.
It seems pretty serious.
Yeah, I'll be outside. I'll be right outside. I'll be right outside waiting
Are
for
you
you.
the
And then
boy
it
or the
pulls-
girl?
I'm
Wait,
coming.
are you the boy or the girl?
Come outside and find me. And it raises up over the warehouse and flies, and you hear it. And then it must land out in by the rest of the buildings because you hear it doosh as it
He's
lands.
definitely a teenager. Definitely a
Right.
teenager.
Maybe 50 foot of. Have you got any chains in here?
Oh yeah, do you have any chains? That's a good idea. Verna,
asking-
do you have
Come
any
on,
chains?
Diomedes, come out and show me what you're really made of with your squishy stuff I'm going to eat.
He's
I'll
really
be
going
right
in there.
out.
Definitely sounds like the boy.
I'm gonna turn to Berna and I'll say, like, have you got any chains?
Yes, I can get some for you. Hold on. And she runs off to where there's all of the equipment to pull up these panes of glass, and they're pretty long, but they're thin. They're not thick chains. And she hands over 50 feet of chain.
Good. I take it and start heading towards the door.
All right, as you stride
Try to
out the
lasso
door.
it.
All right, you stride out the door. You push open the door. The rock is there. I should do this on the map. I should be rocking the map.
What's happened to the world? Was it split where Ryland's anvil struck the earth?
I'll get to that in a second. Give me,
There.
give me a second.
Give her a
Do
second.
One wild surge at a time. I need to. Why can't I put the rock on here? Why won't you let me?
Because
the
it's
link.
too cool.
Too big.
Yeah, can't fit.
It's
Bye-bye.
mocking you.
It's mocking.
I know.
Mocking
There we
you with
go.
it. Ah!
Oh shit!
Whoa!
Is a little bit smaller than that.
Get away from me. Get away
okay,
from me.
there we go.
All right.
Yeah.
It is.
Oh, that's small.
There we go.
No.
You guys are a lot smaller. You guys are like this.
Ah,
Oh god.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't know why y'all were like in.
So we could
It made
see
more sense.
ourselves.
Oh my god!
You
we're
can
We're
see
like
like
yourselves, but like in relative size.
Insect.
Yes.
grainy eye vision.
Diomedes,
But ours
you
is
stride out. Right? So the door is basically right here where you guys entered, and it has plunked itself into this open area, dug its claws into the ground, and is staring out at the door with its beady eyes. And it sees you, and
Oh.
you guys lock eyes, and the rock gets a wild magic surge.
Yeah.
Bill, would you roll the
roll
wild
for
magic surge for the rock, please?
6, 2, 8, 8. Oh my god, the rock is swamped by countless flies, but they don't bother him.
That sounds about right.
Okay.
Hmm.
As it lands and the two of you lock eyes, suddenly the ground beneath your feet shudders and shakes. Those of you that are inside feel the ground vibrating, and it's an earthquake. You all drop to the ground. The snails all immediately retract into their shells, freaked out. You see panes of glass that have been propped up kind of out of the way shake and shatter into millions of pieces. Diomedes, before you, on the ground, as you are watching, a giant split in the world happens. As
Oh my God.
you said it was 10 feet wide?
10 feet wide.
Yeah.
10 feet
Oh my
wide. Yeah, this whole area, just a split in the world takes place. I can't draw. I feel bad about drawing all over this beautiful map, but I'm going to. Between you and the rock, the ground and splits open, and from the depths of the earth, as you watch, a swarm of flies appears, just black, swirling, tiny little awful insects. They're those what are those big flies that bite? What are those things called?
Bloat flies sort of thing.
Bloat? Oh.
No, they're
I don't know.
real flies.
Sand
They're real
flies?
flies.
Sandflies?
Oh,
But you know what I mean. They're
swampy, big, nasty
yeah, the big
ones.
nasty ones that bite and are horrible, and they
Sure.
swarm out of this rift in the ground
Horse
and
flies,
swirl.
maybe, yeah.
Horseflies, yeah, just
Horse flies are gross.
nasty, awful, gross horseflies swarm around the rock, which is suddenly a little freaked out because it's suddenly surrounded by flies. It stares at you. The flies don't engage with it. Yeah. What'd you say?
Honestly, as I stride out, I stare back at the rock and I say, "You have angered me, and thus angered the will of the gods. They bring a plague upon you and your kind."
Go ahead and roll an intimidation check with advantage because there's a hole in the ground and
cooking.
a lot of flies.
Alright. Intimidation. I mean, I can't believe he's understanding me, that's the great part. 18.
Wild magic is weird. Its eyes widen and it steps back a few times, and then it seems to get freaked out by everything that has just happened and takes to the air. And it immediately begins to fly off. It goes over the river and flies off out of your sight.
Shithead.
Now
The
who's
flies
coward?
following it.
Well,
Well, the earth is fucked.
Well, right now, none of you know about the problem with the earth.
This
except
looks
for
like an
Diomedes.
earthquake.
Yeah, about a 10-foot wide hole in the ground. That seems to go on
Well, that's
forever.
one of them. That's one of them spooked.
Uh-huh.
I bought us some time. Quick, grab whatever we have in there and make some sort of plan. What supplies do you have in the other way?
What's going on? What did you do? She's giving you, Verna's looking at you, Diomedes, like in shock. What did you do? What's going on?
Well, Diomedes is clearly up in his head. He's like, I believe Bahamut is finally seeing us as worthy champions.
Not everyone
So,
worships the same god that
I'm
you
not
do.
thinking that at all.
So him.
I'm thinking the opposite of that.
Well,
This
did
is
not
bad.
see when something also catastrophic happened when Sugar's will was questioned. A tidal
What?
wave of water. It's literally the sign. First the floods,
Maybe.
then the plagues of insects. The world is shuddering under the
Plague of insects. What are you talking about?
no. It sounds biblical.
Verna runs over to the little door that's inside the big bay doors and opens it up and kind of peeks her head out, and she looks in the direction that the rock had flown off to, and then she goes, ah! And closes the door and she goes, the world! What have you done?
I want to
There's
There's
say
a giant hole in the world!
anything.
I'm going to take a pass
What?
on that question.
Yeah, I don't think we did anything.
I don't
That was
think
the
that's our
rock.
fault.
Doing that. I can't be blamed for that.
She looks at you, Diomedes, and says, "Is that what the rock did before it flew away? What's it being followed by?"
It's cooking up a storm.
Being followed by insects. A plague brought by some sort of otherworldly power. Either way, it's bought us time. So, what's the plan?
Is it?
Well, yes, it's
Are
flown
we
away.
still doing the glass thing?
I thought, are
So
we
glass
doing
thing.
the chains and the glass thing?
Yes.
We can't worry about that right now because it looks like an earthquake.
Well, if you want to
Okay.
evacuate, now's the time, but you have the other one to worry about.
Nyla, do you think that if they went via the forest, that would be enough cover from the rocks? Or would the rocks just crash through the forest to get them?
I mean, I don't know, maybe they'd probably just crash through the forest, but we could try. We don't know when it's going to be back.
The forest might provide some cover.
Right.
Yeah. And if it did come back, I don't think it would get all of us.
Don't want to lose any more people or snails.
We could try
Well,
to
snails
go
would have
under.
to stay.
No, the snails cannot move fast enough. They
No.
would
Yeah.
be easy prey. We could try to move everyone under cover of darkness, perhaps with only one of them left, if the other has been driven off by that. She kind of looks back outside and then back towards you and says, "Then maybe we will be okay? But
Perhaps.
if we all just leave now, who knows?"
Okay, night would be good, and we can keep watch for the other one and try the plan
Right.
with the chains and the glass.
The chain glass and the stained glass.
Is the glass
Uh-huh.
really thick, or is it like delicate glass?
It's pretty thick. When it dries, it's a good inch and a half. It's not
Hey.
bulletproof, but like
Yeah.
it's pretty thick.
Is it reflective, Lauren?
No, it's actually incredibly clear. It is some of the cleanest, clearest glass you have
Wow.
ever seen.
We could camouflage the snails as bushes. We could move through the forest unseen.
I think they'd smell them, wouldn't they?
And
No.
they'd see the trail left behind of glass.
And they
Okay,
decide
so hopefully the other one is gone because Diomedes seems to have scared it, helped out by a friendly earthquake. So we just have the
And
one
the
to deal
shattering
with
of the
now.
world.
Yeah.
Maybe we could
I
taunt
mean-
the other one, saying that we've killed its sibling or something.
Unless
Which
they
direction does
just
it
went-
fly off?
It flew north over the water, over the river of the water, and out into the hills. And last you saw, it was disappearing on the horizon, being followed by a cloud of very angry horseflies.
I think their nest is a few miles away, so
Well, I think
Okay.
they were coming from the east, though, so...
we could.
Yeah,
I mean, we could
when they
try
come
and track-
in, Verna had said that when they come in, they seem to come in from the east most of the time. And that's when you guys were attacked by this one, you were attacked from the east.
Okay, so it seems like it's fucked off. Yeah?
For now.
Diomedes? Okay. Well, then we
Okay.
just worry about the one for a while. Why were you
Makes
so
things
worried
easier,
about
I guess.
Yeah. Why were you so worried about the earthquake? I mean, it's scary, but
Yep.
you're okay.
I'm not worried about it. I think it's some sort of divine sign.
Oh, maybe we should pray. You want to pray together? I mean, to different gods, but together?
Let us pray. Wait,
Okay.
to two different gods. Which god do you worship? Oh, wait, yes, you think you're your own god, don't you?
No, I'm not praying to myself, but I could. No, I'm praying to Suni.
Do I know
I
this?
won't be praying, for the record.
Yeah, we know Rylan. We know Rylan.
Out of character, do I know Suni as a deity?
Yeah, you would. Yeah, you would be familiar with her, and you know that that's who Sugar went off to go study under when she left. So you'd be very familiar.
She is the goddess of beauty, and she is on my shield. It's her symbol is just a redheaded woman with green eyes. I hold it
All
up
right,
and
then.
I.
Yes, well, we could pray and hope that this isn't the end of the world.
Okay,
We'll pray, we'll
pray.
make traps, and
Yeah.
then we'll get ready to do our plan, and they can run off into the woods while we do our plan as a distraction.
No,
Sure.
to get away.
Yes, as a distraction for. We'll be the distraction.
Right. Yes. Okay. Good.
what I meant.
Verna-
Good, Rylan.
Verna's continuing to kind of keep glancing outside and says, "Pray all you want, but I think we need to pray for the earth. This is horrific. I don't know
That's right.
what we can do. Do you know an earth, or is Suni an earth person, goddess? I don't know this one.
No.
See what you can do. If you can
Right.
bring
She
some
might know
divine
what's going
healing."
on.
I think we've covered that one. We also have a viewer decision at this point, Lauren, so we can ask our
Okay.
audience a question. They can provide us with some answers.
Sure.
What's
I
What
would
the
love.
fuck is the question?
I would love to know when rock number 2 arrives. Is it hungry? What is it hungry for?
Oh,
Alrighty.
God.
What is the rock hungry for? What's the rock cooking?
What's the? Yeah, when the
really
other one arrives, what's it hungry for? While that's being decided on, Sugar, you're gonna pray. Ziomedes, you're also gonna pray. I'm assuming you're praying to Bahamut.
Yeah.
All right. I would love the two of you to roll religion checks. Nyla, what are you up to while Ryland is scoffing at this?
I'm not praying, so I'm probably just like chilling.
Natural 20.
Ooh.
God appears before you.
Wow.
You are the herald.
All right. Sugar
Um,
with the natural 20, and then Ziomedes, what'd you get?
oh, you don't want to know. It's going to be bad. Oh, it's not too
No,
bad.
it's good. It's good. It's good.
Just the -2 is always a daunting thing. 15.
Okay. The two of you take hands. Sugar, I would like to know, what do you say to your goddess?
I say, hi, Suni. Long time no talk. Sorry about that. It just, the priesthood wasn't really for me. I like, bare chests too much. Sorry. So there was just a big earthquake, and I'm not really sure what's going on, and maybe you know what's going on. Sorry, I really will try to pray more often because I know a lot about you because I studied with you a long time, and then I start rambling to her.
Okay.
If
Ziomedes.
that wasn't rambling enough for you, I ramble more.
Okay. Well, while you continue in your head to do this rambling prayer, Ziomedes, what do you say to your god?
Bahamut, give us strength. Give us the wisdom to fight this monster and save these people's lives. And if this is truly the end of the world, well, at least I know I would have died doing some good.
Super
Something like
intense
that.
prayers. I'm just looking at it like, wow.
Sugar, you are overcome with the feeling that Nyla needs to go outside.
Nyla!
What?
Nyla! Nyla!
Yes.
Okay. This is really serious. You have to take me really seriously right now. My goddess says you need to go outside right now. Like
Sugar,
right
take her
now.
outside.
Yeah.
Needs to go outside. Go.
Okay, I start taking her with my arm. Come on. It's gonna be fine. Come on. Here we go. Here we go. We're going outside. And I take her and open the door.
Nyla, you go with her?
Yes. Well, I'm trying to struggle because I don't want to go outside, but I guess, yeah.
Okay. Diomedes, you are compelled to follow. You don't know what's going on, but you're like, I should follow them. I should protect
I
them.
see this happening.
Right.
Oh yeah, you very clearly see Sugar just grab Nyla, and the two of them are walking out the door. Diomedes kind of following in a little bit of a daze, but mostly drawing his partisan, like being prepared for them going outside. How about you? What are you doing?
What's going on here?
We have to go do something. We got to go outside. It's really important.
I don't want to go outside, Rylan.
No, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
Why, Sugar?
My goddess told me so. She's a very good goddess. She would not hurt us.
Sugar's actually insane.
Rylan, I can hear you.
If she doesn't want to go outside, Sugar, you can't just make people go outside.
We will protect her.
Sugar at this point has opened the door, kind of stopped to have this conversation. Nyla, you look outside and you see the rift in the world. This 10-foot wide gash deep into the earth. You can look off to where the water is of this river that has turned into jetties and waterfalls and whirlpools as it is draining through the earth. You look off to the left and you see whole bits of structures have fallen into the ground, and it is a wound that compels you to sadness. It's whatever has happened here. Zaimidi talked about it like it was this epic end of the world, but this just makes you sad.
It's also a wild magic search for Nyla. Ryan sees this and he's like, all right, I'm a little bit interested to see what'll happen.
All right, Nyla, give me a wild magic search.
I go
Try taking the high ground for 5 seconds.
What do I do to roll this again?
It's /die space 1d10,000.
/ oh, okay.
Yeah,
remember I said one of these games we're not actually going to play. I'm just going to wait for wild magic surges to show up as you walk from one place to another. Today is that day. Today is that game.
Any moment now, the adventure will happen. Hold on.
It's happened a little bit.
There it is.
You've gotten rid of one of the rocks. Sure.
Yeah, it was really good.
I think the viewer decision is that the rock is hungry for Rock LeDwayne Johnson.
Oh my god.
Okay. Rock.
Yeah, without the quotes, though.
Without the quotes, yeah. There you go. 8155 for Nyla. All armor removed in this area shrinks by 25%. So if you remove armor, it shrinks by 25%.
Oh, I'm gonna be wearing child's clothes.
That's good to know. All right. We'll keep that and some magic rings in mind for Sugar. All right, Nyla, you step outside. You see this rift in the ground, and it's like your gut twists, and you are just innately saddened by this. And I need you to roll a intelligence check.
Okay.
I would stop on Nyla, but I think it could be interesting.
Yep, that sounds like Rylan.
Rylan, don't you care?
I've got a teleport spell ready in case anything goes wrong. Okay, it'll be fine.
You got an 18?
I rolled an 18.
The mitochondrians warned you about this. This is your dream. You remember this. This was your dream. The world split asunder in your dream. You were talking with this mushroom guy and still trying to figure out what was going on, and then the ground split before you, and you remember now this thing said, you can heal this. You have to heal this. And reached out and touched your shoulder, and that's all you remember.
I'm gonna walk over to the split in the ground.
I go with her and keep an eye on the sky.
Okay. Nyla, you walk on over, and it's a hard edge. It is a cliff face. And while it's only 10 feet wide, so you can't see too deep down, it seems to go forever. You see dirt falling into it as it's been cleaved open. It's like someone has just cut into the very fabric of this planet, and you see worms coming out of the ground into nothing and then trying to retreat back. You see bits and pieces of rock. You could swear at the very bottom you might see lava. and it looks like a bleeding wound. What do you want to do?
Can I roll something to try to figure out how to cure this? Like a nature check or something?
Yeah, give me a nature check.
17.
Damn.
Nice. You instinctually get down on your hands and knees to look down into this rift, and your hands on the ground as you're thinking about this memory of the mitochondriads and what was going on and everything that's just happened, and you feel a connection with the earth, and you can feel it is wounded. Whatever has caused this wrench, it's harmed the natural world around it. And you reach out kind of with your natural ranger senses, with whatever you know of your family and their connection to plants and trees and the natural world. And it's like, for a moment, you're encouraging the plants to help. And you think about these plants and close your eyes, and Sugar, you watch as you're kind of watching the sky, you're watching around, but you're also kind of keeping an eye on Nyla. You watch as through the dirt under in this big gash, a root reaches out, growing out of this 10-foot gash into the other side of it, and then another, and then another. And some of these roots are tiny, they're like grass roots, and some of them are massive, like they're from trees. And very slowly, roots are just appearing all down this giant gash. Nyla, roll me another intelligence check.
Right.
Nyla, okay? She seems...
17.
No idea, but it's the most interesting thing she's done in about 3 days.
She actually
You grip
smell the rock.
You grip the ground even harder as this memory comes back to you of you doing this in the dream. This was what the mitochondrion said was going to happen. And you feel the hand on your shoulder of this strange mushroom creature saying, "And when you call, we will be there for you, as your friends have been for us." And you open your eyes and you see that along with the roots and the tendrils, you see that there are mushrooms also growing out of one side of the ground and into the other. And then there is this shaking as the ground quivers and quakes. And very slowly the world is pulled back together under your hands as the earth pulls itself into one. The ground quakes, some of the buildings shake a bit. You hear more glass shattering behind you in the building. Zymedes and Rylan, you're kind of forced to stop and steady yourself as you're walking towards the Sugar. You kind of have to put your arms out as the ground quakes again. And after a horrific amount of time, which might have only been 30 seconds, but it felt horrific and wrong, but right. And then there's just this seamless line in the ground where at one point it was rift open. Nyla, you open your eyes and it is a scar, but it is a healed scar.
Okay.
I stand up and I shake my hands off and brush myself off.
Who the hell are you?
That was amazing.
We're going to need to do more experiments on you.
You cannot experiment on me.
It's happening. That was amazing. You just healed the world. Are you a goddess as well?
I'm gonna do divine sense on her.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a look at Nyla,
Okay.
hang on,
Yeah,
doll.
you cast Divine Sense. No, she does not
switch
come
my
off as
deck here.
divine.
Okay. Oh, does the rift come across as desecrated at all? Or any sense from the line?
From the rift?
Yeah.
Roll a religion check.
Ooh.
Okay.
Chat desecrated the game.
17.
It's you catch the tail end of it. Now it's fine. Now it is just mended earth, but you think to look down at it and to activate your divine sense before it is fully closed, and in that moment, yes, it was desecrated ground. Absolutely.
Okay, maybe not so much an earthquake.
What? What then?
That was bad. Whatever that was, it was really, really gross.
Like necromantic?
Like just wrong. Like so wrong.
Well, it's fixed now, so.
Favorite
Well,
kinds of
then-
things.
Is that normal for you, Nyla?
Have you ever done that before?
Is anything I do kind of normal?
I mean, no, you're pretty good at most things you do, so above average, definitely.
I guess that's
Nyla?
true.
Nyla, you believe that you're not sure that you did it. You think you might have been a conduit. You think
Yes.
Sugar's goddess may have known what was going on. You think there's a lot of things going on. You also now have the spell Commune with Nature that you can use once a day.
Ooh.
Nice.
If you can open up that D&D Beyond thing, it's the spell Commune with Nature. Once a day you can cast that.
Okay.
But you think maybe the mitochondriads knew this might have been coming? You think maybe Sugar and Ziomedes' gods helped when something horrific happened? You think that you might have just been in the right place at the right time and the right being who wanted to help the earth?
That's
I give
intense.
Nyla a big squeeze. Hurts a little.
Thank you.
That was
Yeah.
very impressive.
My shoulder, it's,
No,
thanks.
you'll be fine. Okay, so
That's
any
not
sign of
awesome.
the rock?
Roll perception checks, everyone.
Right, yes, of course, the rock.
I don't know what was cooler, a giant bird or the world coming back together.
That was pretty cool.
26.
Nice.
Hmm.
Rangers are cool.
Rangers are cool.
I love Rangers.
Yeah. Sugar, you're hugging Nyla. Ryland, you're studying Nyla. Ziomedes, you are... you've got a lot on your mind, but you manage to kind of look up, and you think to look out to the east, and you do see something out in the east, in the sky. Nyla, as you're hugging and being hugged by Sugar, you happen to be facing the east. You make this self-deprecating joke about healing the world, and then you see it out in the distance in the east. Yes, the other one is coming. It's minutes away. You can just barely see it flying on the horizon towards you.
Guys, I think there is a giant rock flying towards us.
Yay!
You're on fire tonight. Good.
You have no more
Not
time
literally.
to
Because she's a
I
tree.
think-
That would be bad, Rylan.
Yeah. I was
Yeah,
literally
yeah.
on fire. I probably died.
Speaking literally.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Back to
okay,
the
okay.
warehouse for the glass trap lad.
Verna
Yes.
is standing in the open door. Verna holds it open and says, "Well, if it's coming, get back inside before we have to do all this again. Let's not split open the world and do all of that again. Come on.
I
She
thought
opens
we
the door
were
again.
going to drive it.
Unless
I
you
forgot
think
the
you can
plan.
fight it.
Are we
It's up to
fighting it?
you.
Let's fight it on our terms, inside.
I can fight it. If there's only one now, I'm much more confident we can take it.
I
We
do
can
not
fight it
think
here. if
that
you
we
want.
can.
You can use the glass and the rope and everything else as well, but if I have to be a distraction, I will be.
Right.
Well, I have to be up. Well, I have to be pretty close to do anything.
Right.
I have arrows, but I don't think they'll do much.
I mean, they'll
I'll just
hurt.
fireball
them.
it.
It looks
You
like
need to
it in the
stop
eye.
yourself, Nyla. If you can do
I'm
that.
gonna stay inside. You do what you want. I'm gonna run it.
Either you are going to just attack it now and we'll do what we can, or if you have a plan, then we need time to plan and you should come inside. One or the other.
I get inside.
What is it, people?
I run inside.
I look at Diomedes.
We have
I don't know.
ropes
They want to do
around.
some glass trap that I still don't understand.
Lay out the glass trap. Explain it to me.
Fine, we'll go inside until they explain what the hell this glass trap is, because I don't understand.
Okay.
Me either.
You guys rush
I
back
don't want to
inside.
fight it.
Or I just said the words.
Verna closes the door. You spend a few tense minutes as you can hear it flying above you. It seems like this one has now arrived to check out what the commotion was. But it doesn't land. It circles for a little while, and then it seems to fly way back to the east. Meanwhile, as you guys are inside, Verna is talking with some of the other halflings that are there. They're conferring about paths that they can take to go back to their individual houses or go back to the inn to try to get you materials for whatever this thing is that you want to do. And Verna says, you just tell us what it is that you need. If there's only one left and you think that you have some sort of plan to take it out, then we'll get you what you need.
Right. Okay. I've seen pigeons fly into panes of glass thinking they can fly straight through and they just go into the glass.
Right.
If we make a massive pane of glass for this thing and just have it splat up against it, and kind of be
Cool.
like down the side.
How do we
Yeah,
get
that
out
was-
the glass?
Then whilst it's stunned, we take it out.
Yep,
Good.
yep, yep.
Let's do that.
That's it. That's what we're doing.
Found it. I knew it was there
We can-
somewhere.
How big of a pane of glass do you need?
Enough.
How
big
We
is
could put the snail behind it.
Huge.
As big as one of the snails. Not Bobby.
big
20 by 20.
Okay.
Bigger than the bird.
We can make one that is the size of the entire floor if you give us a few hours. And she indicates to the floor of this warehouse, which, Diomedes, you think with wings folded in, what a rock could fit in this warehouse. So you think a pane of glass that size would probably be about window size to it. It's going
Okay,
to be
cool.
heavy.
It will be.
We're very
Um,
strong.
We'll lift
Where
it
would
up,
you-
yeah.
Where would you want us to put it?
Well, we have to make a window, right? So that it thinks it can fly in. And then that's when it... So, we have to take
I'm
down
gonna
the
let them
wall.
handle the glass because they are glass
This was your
experts.
idea, damn it!
Presumably. I didn't say I was going to make it happen. I just said those two words, and somehow a plan would evolve around them. And look and behold, it has. So,
Right.
not at all what I
Make glass
envisioned,
to
but
work on
we
making
need-
the window frame.
How are we going to make it just if it's I mean, we have to put a roof over the snail so that it doesn't just fly straight down at it.
What's
Why
So,
the-
we
don't
also, so it looks like a window.
I've
We're
honestly
gonna
stopped
look down.
caring about this pane of glass very swiftly. My interest has fallen.
Have you got saws? Have you got work like gear and things? Hammers?
Good lord, man!
Yes,
what are you trying to
of
say?
course. What do you
Good,
need us
alright.
to do?
Okay, so Siamese puts his
Nyla
like, work
literally
at
just
hard hammer.
saved the entire universe with her hands, and this is what we've gotten to do afterwards.
Welcome to Dungeons and Dragons, Will. I love you so much.
Good God!
Siamese puts his hard hat on, gets his high vis on, and like a clipboard. He's like, right, we need a window by 20 by 20 foot on this side of the warehouse. We'll have the pane of glass being made on the floor, and we'll lift it up and into the place. And oh yes, we need to take down this section of the wall. So he grabs like a pencil, starts penciling it out.
Great. Good.
Okay. We
Yep.
will probably want to take the wall out at night when we're less likely to get seen. So we
Is
can
it
make
not
we
right?
can
I
do
thought
that.
we would just spend 12 hours having this conversation.
No, surprisingly enough, Nyla was able to heal the entire world in about 10 minutes.
Well, impressive.
Nice.
I'm
All in a day's
clearly
work.
super powerful now.
It's like
Yes,
putting
You're a
two
little
on.
tired, but yeah,
More
you're
about your
feeling
powers.
you feel a little like you're tired, but it's the tired that you are after you've gotten a really good workout and you're really proud of
Yeah.
yourself that you got a really good. It's that tired.
Yeah.
You're like, it's gonna be sore tomorrow to stand up, but you feel good.
Yeah.
You just took on the world, literally.
I could take out this giant bird. Not really.
Okay.
It's us versus the world, Nyla.
All right, Diomedes has created a work detail and is very quickly sketching out plans to create a giant window to go in one wall of.
I'm going to let him do that.
No, I like it. I like it.
Yeah, let's go with this plan.
I'm
I'm going
super
to-
into it.
Examine and study Nyla some more about her powers.
This glass needs to be extra thick. So, how big did you say you can do this? Can you lay them up?
Triple glazed.
Yeah, triple
We
glazed.
can turn-
Quintuple
We can
glazed.
turn one entire wall of this
Should all
warehouse
glaze.
into a window if you'd like. But the thicker, the more panes we put, the more likely it is to see that it is glass.
Yes.
Just make the world glass.
You need to balance thickness, transparent.
This whole
I don't
town will
exactly.
be glass.
Please just do it.
Living in
For
glass
your
houses.
information, for those of you who are members of the Encounter Roleplay Discord, you would know that my internal name for this episode was called Glass House.
Amazing.
God.
It's happening.
We're
Really
on
feel
brand.
glass ceiling in here.
I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting it to be more than metaphorical, but there you go. Okay, Diomedes, working with Verna and the other halflings that are kind of stuck in this warehouse with your 4 flail snails, including Bobby, that they could make one giant pane of glass at your specifications before the evening is done. And then she is suggesting that you knock out the wall at night when it's less
Yep.
likely that you might be seen by the rock, and then could have it prepared in the morning, if that's okay.
Cool. Yeah, that's good.
What wall of...
If I can put some like wooden beams together to kind of like just make a window frame, so I can just stuff that in its place, just so it fits
Okay.
nicer. I guess. I'll be
You
doing
can
that.
make it
Work-
He loves
Yeah.
detail.
Okay, they've got plenty of tools to do it, so you tell me what you
Please
want, and as
describe
long
to
as
me
you're willing...
all of them.
Yeah. They're all
Yeah,
the
that's
tools
true.
that you need. What
I just wanted to be
wall...
speedy enough. So, yeah. Go
Okay. What wall... So you guys are in the southernmost warehouse. You have
Oh, it's
4
gonna be the
walls and a... it's both the southeasternmost warehouse. Which of these walls would you like to replace with a window?
Well, I was thinking about the east one.
Right. It
One
comes
I've
from
got
the...
I'm sure you are.
Okay. Yes. So they will get to work on making this entire wall a window.
Yeah.
What are the rest of you doing for the rest of the day?
I'm going to speak with Nyla in private about this business. So, Nyla, when you went to sleep, were you communing with a god or a goddess, perhaps? Or did you just freeze in your entirety and look in one freeze frame moment? Looks like it might have been that one. Think she's coming back.
Loser.
My
Yes,
game
yes.
crashed. My entire thing just like crashed. I was like, oh no.
You had the
I was
best
saying-
intense look on your face. That was amazing.
Well, it was like I saw it like froze and then it was like crashing slowly. I was like, no.
No.
Like the world.
Nyla,
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
like
the
the
world.
Nyla, tell me, when you were asleep, did you commune with a god or goddess during your rest?
I don't think it was a god or goddess. I was talking to those giant mushrooms though.
Right, the much the mic and it's okay. And did they say anything about healing the world or end of the world, anything like that?
They showed me that the world would open up and that I would pull it back together. I didn't remember that until just then, though.
Just now, that's useful. Okay, so was there a conversation about using power only for good or something like that?
I don't remember a conversation like that, but I do remember that I had this overwhelming feeling to go home.
To your family?
To my family, where Mom and Dad are. I mean, you've met Dad.
Sure, yes, I remember him. Okay. Yes, that's who he is. Okay, so you had this conversation with a goddess, and then you want to go back home. I think it's very important that we should go back to your home.
Why and why? I mean, like, yes,
you just healed the entire world, as far as I'm concerned. So if you're getting feelings that you should go back home, maybe there's the source of your power. Maybe we could use this power for other things than just healing the world.
What exactly are you talking about? Using my powers for
almost anything else.
All right. But I don't know if I could do that again. Until I
maybe if you were to go home, you'd be able to.
I guess we could go back. I mean, I have a lot of there's reasons why I ran away in the first place that I would have to deal with when I got home.
Such as?
Well, I was betrothed to someone else.
Oh right, yes, that whole thing. Well, not to worry. Right, so do they know about me and our ship?
No, they don't know about our. I don't know if my father knows about. No one knows about our ship. I mean, I guess my father could, because you had that talk with him that one time about protecting me, and then I protected you right after that.
Yep. I remember him now. Yeah.
Yeah, it was that town where you competed with another guy who had a mustache.
Oh yes, I remember him very clearly. Actually, that one. Yeah.
And then he fell into a. Yeah, he died. And his mustache was just left.
So maybe he does. If is that something we should discuss before we go home?
What? More ship talk?
Right. Well, it seems to me that parents often get strangely involved in such things. Especially if he thought that you were supposed to be betrothed to someone else, and now you're not. And now I'm here, and we're researching things together.
Yes, technically we're still betrothed, but I ran away, and now we have a ship together, and I don't have a ship with this man.
You're still betrothed to...
I never exactly said anything. I kind of just left.
See, that's the mistake. I had to kill mine, and that really sent the message.
Yes, and then she came back, and we saw how
Details. Do you want me to kill this other man? Because I will.
I don't think we could. I don't think we have to necessarily kill him. I just think we have to explain the situation because, by him marrying me, he would have became the other leader of our clan, and we would have both been leaders, so he would have gotten power through it, so...
Right, so you're... Right, okay.
So
what kind of privileges and power comes with being the leader of this clan?
Well, first of all, you have armies, and one army, and you rule the clan, and people do what you say.
Ancient spell books, most likely.
Probably Probably. I never.
Probably a few. I see.
Maybe.
But so you see like the cogs turning in Ryland's head. I see. Interesting.
I mean, I don't know how many, but I'm sure there's a few,
More than
and they
one.
have
Probably less than 5.
something in it. Since your spellbook
Interesting.
weighs like 1 million pounds now.
Right. And we've been a ship for some time now. Tough to say exactly
Been a
how
few
long.
days.
Few days. That's right, days. I see. Cool. Lots to think about.
Yes, I wouldn't say kill my betrothed, but I'd say let's talk to him and not kill him.
Sure.
And-
We could totally do that. So if you were to be betrothed again, does that cancel out the first betrothal?
You would have to talk to my father.
Right, for the leadership of the clan and all of the power that comes with that. Interesting. All right, well, that's obviously not something I'm thinking about because we've only been days on this voyage, and that would be inappropriate. Right?
I mean, I've been betrothed since I was 7 years old, so, you know.
What? Really?
3. That's how the clan works. They pick, the strongest and
That's gross.
whoever's leading. Yeah.
So, all right, okay. So kind of get them in early sort of deal with your people.
I guess, or, whoever's. I mean, it was just that. Yeah. It just
Cool.
happened.
Well, I have to talk to Sugar about something completely unrelated. Yeah, I'll be seeing you.
Oh, I mean, okay.
Milo, you're left
Milo.
standing there as Ryland decides that this awkward conversation has gone on long enough and turns around and walks towards Sugar.
Full release.
Ziomedes is against one wall of this warehouse directing halflings to create this window of his. Sugar, what have you been doing during this?
I was going to
Not
ask
paying
if you
attention
could.
to
I was going to ask if you could be like a team leader for the snails, like keep them motivated and stuff.
Yes,
Delegate you.
that's a great idea. That's what I've been
I would love
doing.
an
I like
animal
it.
handling check from Sugar.
Oy vey. That's
I will
gonna
give
be
you
like-
advantage
Cool.
because you've been taught where exactly to scratch.
I was going to be like, you seem close to the snails. Just keep 'em motivated, keep the coffee coming, and you can
11.
be like some sort of snail cheerleader, I guess.
So the bad news is you've no idea how to motivate a snail. The good news is there are other halflings here who are more than happy when they see that you are showing interest in showing you what to do. Here's how you sprinkle the food that they've been leaving for these snails. Here's where you scratch. Here's when, when Bobby gets tired and stops and starts to make the noise that you're supposed to burp him. Things like that. And so you get a very quick instruction on flail snail being able to talk with them.
Sweet.
And, help, basically flail snail training. And so you don't necessarily know what you're doing. You've got your animal handler nearby and you're showing enough interest. And so yeah, you're able to merrily lead these snails up and down their rows as they make this giant pane of glass. Ryland comes walking on over just as you finished burping Bobby.
Sure. Might I have a brother to sister chat?
Maybe. Are you?
Cool.
You seem you're smiling. Do you want something?
Yes. No. I'm happy to see my beloved sister.
Insight check.
You
You could just ask, do I believe him? Sure, insight check.
No, I just
Go
like
ahead,
saying
roll an
it.
insight check. Yeah.
Exactly
All right.
this 12.
I want
versus
something.
12.
I need something.
What's up, buddy? Brother whom I love selflessly.
You know about power, right? And how important that is to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, turns out, kind of hit the motherload here, Nyla has the power to bring back the Earth from destruction. Most likely that power is granted to her by being part of this tribe, this clan of elves who presumably sit with one another and turn into trees and commune with nature in order to both create but also potentially destroy it as well. Fun fact, whoever marries her becomes the leader of the clan. Right. So, with they have at least somewhere between 0 to 5 spell books as well of arcane knowledge. So keep that in mind, that figure. So, you're thinking what I'm thinking.
Am I?
Right. Exactly. So, how do you think she would best like to be betrothed to? In fact, scratch that. What do you think is just the logical best way?
Are you telling me you want to be betrothed to a very, very nice person who seems to care about you a great deal so you can get her family's power?
Yes, was I not clear? So
I am going to punch him in the face.
All right, roll an unarmed strike.
What is that? Strength?
It's just your strength.
Okay.
Are you proficient in unarmed strikes?
I don't think so.
And
okay.
you just your strength. D20 plus your strength.
I don't think that hits your armor class.
Rylan, what's your AC?
12. I think it's like 14 or something.
Ooh, maybe. The AC is 14.
Yeah.
You manage to hit kind of the one part of his shoulder that actually has like a little bit of padding, and you're like half-hearted about it. Like,
I know, I can't hurt him.
Yeah.
Comes across as like an encouraging punch.
What old pal?
You go get him. Go get him.
Like, what's a problem, Sugar?
That is
I've been
not
betrothed
nice.
before, so is she.
That's not a nice thing to do. That's not why you should get betrothed to someone. You will hurt her feelings, I think.
Oh, but people love to be proposed to. Women love hearing that, right?
How long have you known her, Rylan?
2, maybe 3 weeks. I haven't been counting.
I don't think you should do it.
Wait, no, I can check. I look into my diary and I flip back a few pages. See, here, met halfling, elf, human. Well, half-elf.
That's so beautiful.
That was a couple of days ago. Well, a few weeks.
I know you've been through a lot together, but you should only be betrothed to someone because you love them and not for any other reason.
How do I know if I love her?
Do you care about her well-being more than or equal to your own?
You know, I haven't fully formed the equation yet. I have a suspicion, maybe.
Then I would take some more time, do some more experiments before you do this.
Okay,
on yourself, not so much on her.
Myself? How do I know then? How do we quantify this love thing?
It will be shown through your actions. Next time, you know, everyone's in trouble, and instead of maybe just thinking about yourself or the cool powers you could get, you make sure she's okay. I mean, she can take care of herself. That's not really the issue, but you need to make sure that she's doing okay.
I'll go and ask her.
Ask her if she's doing okay right now?
No, ask her if I love her.
I'm going to come with you.
All right, family outing.
Yep, family outing.
By outing, you mean inning, as you're all still inside of this warehouse, basically at different corners of it. Yeah. Right, yeah, you walk on over where Nyla, once Ryland had abruptly left you, what were you up to these last few minutes? What were you up doing?
What was I doing?
Yeah.
I was just overthinking the conversation of, like, how, like, awkward it was, and, like, how, oh no, we're gonna go back to my hometown, and Ryland is probably gonna kill the person I'm betrothed to. And
yeah,
I think meeting mom is gonna be a little more scary than meeting dad was.
And then Sugar and Ryland are now marching towards you.
I don't look happy.
Oh, hey guys, everything okay, Sugar?
I don't know. It looks like we're going to find out. Looks at Ryland.
Yes, I've been thinking about this whole thing. And I've
From
given
the
it
last,
a...
like, 3 minutes?
Right, yes, good figures. Generally all I need to think things through. When you're a genius, these things come a lot easier. I was wondering whether you think that I love you, because it's a very difficult thing to quantify.
And you went to your sister about this, and you brought her.
Oh, no, I went to her about the betrothal.
What?
Don't worry about it.
Okay. Well, if you love me, that's really up to you. I mean, you have
so I could just
saved me in the past.
It is and it isn't, isn't it? Because, I mean, just saying it doesn't make it so, right?
You have to feel it. Remember when you learned about feelings?
Yes. Well, okay, here's a thing. You and I are alike, and... well, we hang out. So, do you love me? And then maybe I love you. Like, if we could quantify, we could compare, maybe, results.
I also feel like this is not a conversation to have in front of your sister.
Oh, right, so
yes.
would you mind?
No, I will go third wheel somewhere else. Bye, guys.
Cool.
It's really fun. Go
Sorry
do
about
push-ups or something.
Sugar wanders back over where Ziomedes has somehow found himself a clipboard and is directing a bunch of halflings to making this giant window.
All right, doing good, fellas. Keep it going.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
calling them out by name as well. I'm like, yeah, doing great there, Derek. Nice work there, Clive. Oh, you need to tighten up that corner there, Bob.
Yep. So we got Clive. You've also got Neville, Garth, and Thea are there. If you would like your whole squad.
I'm just like, all right, Garth, you're on your break now. Oh, hello, Sugar.
Hi.
How can I help?
You could wipe my memory from the last week or something. That would be cool.
No. What's happened this time? Or what is happening?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
You notice Nyla and Ryland over in a corner having a very intense and awkward discussion. But you've seen them having an intense and awkward discussion pretty much every other day. So it's not really unnatural. Like, it's kind of the natural state of this weird relationship of theirs. Nyla and Ryland, would you like to finish your conversation?
So we're at the point where I asked you if you love me, and then we could compare and contrast results.
I mean, I care for you very much, and we get along, and you're interesting, and you attack
Yes.
people and kill them, and that's a little terrifying. But opposites attract. Yeah.
Right. Yes. Magnetically, they do.
Yeah, I scienced there for you. See, I'm learning about science.
Very good. Very good.
You did save me that one, or tried to, when we were fighting that vampire thing, and
Oh, right. Yes.
yeah, that was. I guess I could love you, but we haven't spent much time developing, as you call it, our ship.
Right. Gotcha.
I mean, do you see when you see Trinkle and Diomedes, they're very close to each other. They show affection, they hold hands and sleep together, and you know, they
Right.
care about each other. That's what a ship is all about.
Right. I will endeavor
So-
to emulate Trinkle. Or Diomedes.
Well, Trinkle is the girl, so
Right,
maybe-
yes. I should have. Alright. Well, that's good to know. Because then, this means that I don't have to betroth you just yet.
Yes, you would also have to ask both my father and my mother, and you've not met her yet, so
Right, well. Details. Yes.
she's not as nice as Dad.
Okay, well, here's the plan. We keep on doing this, fall in love while we're doing it, and then we go and meet your parents. I ask them, boom. Suddenly, we're the leader of this clan. We've got between 1 to 5 spell books between the two of us. And along the way, we have armies as well. Sound like a deal?
Not everything is a plan, but you know,
But it is a plan. It's one plan.
that
could
could be a
both
plan.
agree on
Yes.
And we could sign a legally binding contract if we wanted. I mean, that's optional.
I would have. I don't know. You know what? Here's a towel. Why don't you have this? And here you go. And I give him his +1 towel.
Excellent. Rylan, roll an Arcana check.
I examine it immediately.
I would like you to use that that one that you've been given, that you've been hanging out with this whole time.
What does
As
this
you
damn
use
thing
that-
do?
This towel, it feels more powerful than the other towels. You don't know why. You don't know what. Something about this towel is special. Something about this towel is magical. Extra magic. Special magic. Nyla has given you a special, extra special towel.
Ooh.
I lean in to kiss her. Thank you for the towel.
Nyla just like stands there, like really like, what just happened?
All right, we've got a plan.
The evening progresses. The conversations get less awkward. Diomedes directs his halfling crew like a well-oiled machine. They create this giant pane of glass, and as the sun sets, you start the work on removing the wall. And I would like you all to roll perception checks.
Master is
Quick,
giving
quick.
Dobby a sock.
Think it going. Perception.
Nailed it.
Natural 20.
Oh, that's got actually kind of perfect. Okay.
Sentinel shield coming in handy, actually.
The sun goes down and it gets very dark, and Xiomedes continues to work with his crew to very slowly basically remove anything that's not a support structure on the eastern wall so then the window can be attached. And most of you are just kind of keeping a watch out. Rylan, you're a little too distracted thinking about future plans for ships. And Xiomedes, with your natural 20, with how accurately you are just... You've got everything working. You've got this work crew perfectly in tune. You watch as enough of the boards are taken out of the wall that you can now kind of see the outside. You see movement in the bushes. And at first, you're not quite sure what it is. It might be a rabbit, it might be something. But then you see what looks like a beak just poking out of the bushes. And then a figure steps out. About halfling sized, maybe a little bit taller, but bird-like. And it reaches into its bag and it pulls out a big rock. And as your halfling friends are erecting panes of glass to start making this window, you watch as this bird creature is starting to wind up.
No.
Window. And that's what we'll stop.
Oh.
Amazing. It's gonna fuck your window.
Yes.
I put so much work into this. No.
He hasn't thrown it yet. You'll have a
Oh,
chance,
that's
because
amazing.
thanks to your natural 20, you'll have a chance next week to react and possibly save portions of your window. But for now, we'll stop it there. And next week when we get back together, we'll see what happens with ships and rocks. And rocks.
And
Awesome. Well, my friends, that is where we're going to end tonight's episode. Tumultuous as ever here on Monthly Modules. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show.
We split open the world!
We split the world. We split the world open. God damn it, Isriva. But that's where we're going to end. If you enjoyed the show, let us know. If you haven't followed the show yet, hit the follow button, join us. Stick around because we've got another game coming up just as wacky, just as crazy. It's called Atomic Cthulhu. 1950s. The bombs have actually just dropped, and now we're trying to survive in a post-apocalyptic nuclear wasteland a la Fallout. So definitely join us for that. But let's go around. Did we enjoy ourselves? And of course, where can we find you guys online? Obo Crazy, great job at managing all of us today. How was it for you?
It is always a pleasure. It is always a challenge to try to keep up with the wild magic surges. I don't know what could get any bigger than you broke open the world, but hey, there we go. Stop by the Discord where I'm keeping an eye on the Monthly Modules Discord, and maybe I'll be asking the people in that Discord some questions about what they'd like to see next, and maybe we'll be voting on a few things. And if you'd like to see me in other things, you can go listen to Dungeon Drunks, which is my weekly podcast and where I DM for another group of lovable, insane people who are currently traveling through the Feywild and breaking that world. So that's at dungeondrunks.com. And otherwise, we'll see you next week and we'll see what happens.
Thanks so much, Obo. Lauren.
Interesting as always with this group. I'm Lauren. That's All Too Ginger over on Twitter. I'm here every Monday, and if you want to see me in other places, something new this week is we're playtesting some Fate of Cthulhu, Fate Core Hack, and that's over on Chelsea's channel, Little Red Dot. Rem is going to be there, Kiana and Greg, and we're going to be doing that Wednesday night if you want to check that out. Otherwise, you can catch me on the Greyhawk channel and on Greg's channel, Grimjack21502. But I post all this stuff on Twitter, so just look there.
Awesome. Thank you, Lauren. And Chris.
Yeah, today's session was awesome. Just so much happened with the magic surges. I can't believe the world got split in two and then put back together again. It's just mental. At least we scared one of them off. Playing a stupid character is always a challenge for me because I like problem solving and I like coming up with plans, but playing a stupid character forces me to make up stupid plans. So that's always entertaining, coming up with a plan, but it has to be a stupid one. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. You can also catch me on Twitter at Senrith_. Other than that, can't wait to see how this goes down next week on Monday.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris. And Sam.
Today I feel like I made a mistake by telling Rylan that he would get so much power by marrying me.
Best mistake.
Oh god, I'm really excited to see what happens next week. And you can check me out on Twitter, which I post occasionally, but hopefully we'll start posting more. Yeah.
Awesome, thanks, Sam. Yes. Cool. Thank you guys so much for joining us for tonight's episode of Monthly Modules. I think next week we'll be back with the full cast and crew. Tony D will be back with us. Definitely go and follow her. In the meantime, though, but stick with us because we are playing our next game, Call of Cthulhu, Atomic Cthulhu. And until next time, my friends, try not to roll too many nat ones because we want to be here laughing when you do. Good night, everybody. Bye.
Bye.